wonder if he's just rolling in his grave.
No, he's dancing in his grave. He's raving in his grave.
Yeah.
That's why you can't spell grave without rave. Welcome back, everybody, to the Storymoders podcast. My name is Robert. His name is Mike. His other name is Dex. Hi, everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome to the new Digs, Dex. He's never seen it.
Nope. I still don't see it. But
I'm not entirely sure where I'm at on the screen. And yep. I think I was actually pointing to the right places. Yeah.
Nice.
Without even noticing. Hi, guys. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Mike is wearing his Christmas sweater in what month is it? April. Thank you. Forgot about that. Yep. Did not.
Have been unemployed that long.
Look, okay. It's been a long 3.5, 4 weeks. Month. I legit do not know how long it's been now. It's kind of scary. I'm worried about what day it is. Oh, man.
It's like at the pandemic when March lasted 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, Mike, how are you doing today, buddy?
We're here.
We're here.
Fucking here.
We're here. And, you know what that means.
Big gulp of air. Fuck.
Big gulp of air. So we're going to talk to Mike here in a moment. But Dex, I feel like it's been literally 2 weeks. Actually, no, it's been like 5. But yeah,
time is a flat circle.
Yeah. Welcome into the new Storymoders podcast look, which you can't see because I'm not sharing my screen anyway.
It has that.
That's great. Yeah.
It has that new car smell.
It does. No, that's I farted. That was me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You might want to go see a doctor.
I should. Yeah. I don't know why it smells like that.
Should not be smelling like industrial adhesives off-gassing. That is...
All I do is eat glue. Is that a problem? Should I not do that?
I mean, good for the people around you, probably not good for your health.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
That's why I do it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to make everybody else's life better.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Oh, Mike, let's
Robert,
let's get sad before we get sad for other reasons.
Wait, me and you get sad for reasons? I thought that's just how we were.
That's fair. Let's raise a toast. Dex.
Toasting.
Yes, to the one, the only, the little scruffy puppy that you've seen on this podcast before. Autobahn. Little Otto. Is across the Rainbow Bridge. He's now with his real dad and his wife. Up there in heaven.
Yep. Sucks. Always sucks. But, yeah.
Yep.
Up there. Otto, you will be missed. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you, Otto, but I loved you anyway.
Yeah. He's made appearances on the podcast.
Mike is wearing your skin on himself as a sweater right now, so...
no, early. I am just out here letting the taco meat breathe in honor of Otto.
God damn it.
All right, he was an adorable little guy, and when we gave him a haircut, he looked like a little baby lamb. When his hair grew out, he looked like a teddy bear. So,
he was adorable. Yeah, Mike had a couple losses there, but we're here for him because we love him.
Yeah, there it is.
And just because you got to be there for your friends, Mike.
Exactly. Okay? You know, if you're not there for your friends,
and fucking
who's going to be there for you?
Nobody, because you're a sad piece of shit.
I don't know. God.
My God.
Whatever. You might as well call out for Hawkman.
Yeah. Guy's just as useful. God, Black Adam
Birdman's an attorney.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, yeah. Dex, how are you feeling? I know I just asked that, but I'll be honest, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about Otto.
Dex, do you have any tragedies you'd like to share with the class?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have tragedies. I mean, I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, so that's been like so fun. I'm like literally like passing out randomly, like at my job and shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Actually,
supposed
I
to.
don't
I
think
was
that's
supposed to
sleep
get
apnea, bud. That's a different problem altogether.
Maybe.
my the test. The sleep doctor did the whole looking over things. Said sleep apnea.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Every heroin addict I knew was also a sleep apnea guy.
Oh my
So,
god.
you know,
But no, I literally just always tired. Like
Yeah.
I was supposed to get my machine today, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to call and be very kind of like stern and be like, I need this
I need this so I don't fall asleep at
guys,
work
I need this.
tomorrow.
today.
Guys.
Guys, I don't want to fall asleep on the drive to work.
I would like to like live life and not just sit there waiting like
Yeah.
is it bedtime yet?
Can I go to sleep yet?
Let me
Can I do sleep?
live. Why
Other than
won't
that-
you let me live?
But other than that, I'm good. Nothing crazy to like
Okay.
report.
All right. That's you know what? That's good. Glad.
Yeah, like in retrospect, yeah.
You're like, things could be better. My dog died. You know what? I'm good. I'm good.
You know what? I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing to complain about. Moving on.
I am just fixing something. So still working out all of the tiny little kinks with our new overlay and everything. It's beautiful. It's actually much. I was telling these two it's much easier to work in now because Cameron French did this thing where he made the boxes the right size and didn't just fuck out a box onto a screen, and then I have to edit all the goddamn windows to fit them properly.
Amazing.
Yeah. So. Thank you again, Cameron French. Dex, what have you been playing lately, bud?
I beat Liza P recently.
Oh, did you finish it?
And
Did I miss you finishing it?
yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah. I made a decision at the end that I've had people yell at me for.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. You killed
yeah.
Geppetto.
No,
people on the
'cause-
internet. That's how it goes.
So I'm gonna go into like spoilers. So if you haven't played Liza P, cover your ears for like 10 seconds. But basically you get a choice of either you give Geppetto your heart to become a real boy, or you refuse him. And each time they make you do these decisions, you have very little time to pick. It goes and it starts clucking down. And so I was like, I've been trying to become a real boy this whole time. So I was like, let's just give it the heart. Like, what's the worst thing happen? And so I gave it the heart, and then everything seems fine. Everything seems great. Like the achievement's like, oh, they live happily ever after. I'm like, great, cool, swell. And then you get to the end, and basically, your human self ends up going into the hotel that's like your hub, and you murdered everybody.
What?
Oh, so it's like the ending of Far Cry 5. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it comes out and he's like
Spoilers.
splattering blood. And you're kind of like, why are you like that? And then like zooms out into the hotel. You start seeing people's dead bodies on the floor, and I'm like, why? Why did this happen? It said everybody lived after after.
Why won't he fit? Said Pooh as he brought the axe down over Christopher Robin's lifeless body.
So I did that. I told a couple of my friends I made that choice. They're like, how could you? I'm like, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Shirtless, drinking, perfect. Damn right. Wave to everybody. There it is. She brought me drugs.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh.
Geppetto was obviously just so evil. I'm like, I feel like that, like the way the story goes, you could think possibly they're trying to allude to that, but possibly maybe he's being a red herring throughout the whole thing. So it's like I wasn't 100% sure whether he was going to be kind of a villain or not. So I was like, that's kind of also what made me end up choosing that way.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
but now I know he's fucking crazy.
I was really
If
hoping you were
you're-
going to.
The lesson is, kids, if your parents ask you to give them their heart, say no.
Yeah. If anybody asks you to give them your actual heart, maybe we just say no altogether. That's just a blanket statement.
Like that episode of Futurama where Fry almost gets gills. So you're not going to need lungs, right? I take lungs now. Gills come in next week.
other than that, I beat that, and then I started playing South of Midnight, and I've beaten Chapter 2, and so far it's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
See,
I
want to start playing South of Midnight, but every time I go to download it, I get some fucking error, and Microsoft's like, it's on our end. And I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Then
Well, can you fix it?
I'm just like, could you fix this? Because I really don't want to start another playthrough of The Outer Worlds. Spoiler alert, I did. You know.
Well,
it's like those TikToks where like the people like trip and all of a sudden they're falling, and it's like they used to grab their gaming stuff and they're like, oh no, yeah. I'm playing now.
Oh man, yours are way different. Mine are always just like a dude tripping and swiping his credit card, and then suddenly he's got coilovers for his car. Baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but. And before we move on, I was really hoping you were going to say, yeah, and at the end, Geppetto chops off your legs for firewood, because he never saw you as real.
Well, that like gets into like the whole thing of like, because as you're going through, because you start out as a puppet, but you can make choices where you start becoming more human, like in futures and everything like that. Even like you start sounding less puppety, like as you like attack and stuff. And so I guess that you could look at like this really deep thing of like Geppetto's not noticing that you are your own person now, and it's almost like looking at it in that retrospect, you can kind of see why it's not the greatest choice, because it's like Geppetto's like rejecting who you are for basically to bring back his son, who you are technically are, but he doesn't view you as human.
And apparently his son is a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, his dad is like, kill these people. He's like,
okay,
Got it.
because he literally comes out smiling with blood over him.
Again, this would have been a great time for me to have my hunting knife in here, because that would have been a dramatic prop to grab. But no.
I did that in our fantasy critic draft.
Oh my god, we were all concerned.
Grabbed a hunting knife?
Yeah.
He went to his kitchen. He went and grabbed a knife, and then literally came back to his turn. He went and grabbed a different knife, and they progressively got bigger.
And then by the end of it, when I was picking my counter pick, I just had my block of knives from the kitchen and just pulled a bunch of them out and just kind of holding them like that.
Oh man.
We were all like, "Is he good?"
Hey Dex.
Yeah.
Speaking of fantasy critic, do you want to do something for me real quick?
Yeah. What's up?
Do you want to acknowledge me as your tribal chief and the winner of this year's fantasy draft?
But you haven't won yet.
I got Blue Prince and Mario Kart World, okay? And Silk Song. And Silk Song's coming out this year. Okay? So, just go ahead and acknowledge me now.
It was in a sizzleware. We'll get into it, but it was in a very limelight aspect of this whole thing.
Yep. And none of you fuckers even knew about Blue Prince. And I don't know why I saw it. I don't know where the fuck I saw it at, but I played the demo. I was like, this looks real fun. I'm going to get it. Turns out, best game of the fucking year.
But like, you seem to forget that Expedition 33 literally comes out in 2 weeks. Which is
Expedition 33 is going to be really good. It's going to be in 87. Okay. I mean, I think you and I are going to fucking love it to death. And it's going to be one of our favorite games of the year, but I think it's going to be high 80s. Unless it's like broken or something. You know what I mean? But Mike, so you started Outer Worlds again?
Again, yes.
Okay. Good. How's Cyberpunk coming?
It's been hanging out, It's there.
They're both good games. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I like Outer Worlds. It is nowhere near the level of Cyberpunk in my opinion. So
no, it is scratching an itch that it's just like this feels more familiar than Cyberpunk does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I feel like I kind of know how to do this. Like when you walk into a bar that's full of people who aren't your friends but look like your friends, you're just like, I know how to do this. I got this.
You're like, hey, Chad, how'd you know my name? Guess. It was a guess.
That's all right. As you're just going over to the Touch Tunes, about to just load up $40 worth of like 4 Years Strong or some shit. Be like, the boys are gonna love this.
Now you put in $40 and you just play Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version.
My God, that's my wife. That sounds like my wife.
She's got good taste. Obviously, she's married to you. All right, boys. Let's switch gears here. Actually, before we do that, I actually didn't have anything else to bring up.
Oh.
I just,
I thought you were going to ask me to put a shirt back on.
Oh, no, I don't give a shit. That's fine. You know what,
Yeah.
Dex? Pop it off.
All right. Boys, pop the top. Come on.
Oh, man, I was not prepared for this.
At least undo that top button.
All right, I'll give you that.
Give him a little sizzle, baby. There it is.
Here, I'll even do you one better. I'll even do
shit.
the last one.
Dex, you
There you
ignorant
go.
slut. Okay.
All right. Well, Robert's doing all the above board stuff. I guess I'm starting the
I don't have any.
Storymoders OnlyFans.
I don't have any buttons. You know what I mean? Or else I'm just wearing this
Don't-
really dope VerumDex shirt. You know?
Go change out of that incredibly awesome VerumDex shirt and go put on something with buttons. Or a zipper.
I legitimately have one button-up shirt because I just don't wear them ever, and I'm wearing it for like every fucking interview. And I hope that the people that I interview with tomorrow are different people than who I spoke to last time, just so they don't be like, does this guy have one shirt? Because the
Brother,
answer is
if you-
yes.
Brother, if you
have
need
multiple of
shirts,
the same shirt.
Yeah.
I got shirts you can borrow.
Yeah.
Like, I will commit part of the wardrobe to the cause here.
Yeah. I've been wearing t-shirts and jeans to work for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Or polo
we gotta-
shirts. But
yeah, that's just
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what trashy people think is fancy.
Wow. Hi Dex. What you
Hi.
wearing there, buddy?
You're talking to somebody who has the highest ambition he has is to be able to crush a 30 rack and have a squat rack in my driveway. So I feel I'm the
believe in
trashiest
you.
one here.
I believe in you.
I mean,
God.
it's Under Armour. It's an expensive polo.
Yeah, there
I
you
did
go.
not. I got for Christmas.
Moisture wicking and so forth.
Moisture wicking them nips.
Yup. Oh man. Speaking of Christmas. Transition?
Well, actually, before we do that was a great transition.
Hey.
It was phenomenal, and I'm sorry that we're not going to be able to use this because we have a little bit of we're going to cut to a little break, a little ad ski for a friend of ours.
Oh
Our good
shit.
friend Vitz Patel is doing season 2 of Pixel Pop Stars.
You mean to tell me this isn't an amazing Christmas present for all of us?
I mean, yeah, you'll be able to watch Pixel Pop Stars next month. 3 new
trying to save
episodes
this.
and then a finale in June.
Yay!
We're gonna pop a little ad up for that real quick, so check it out. We'll cut to it later. Didn't plan it out properly. So, how are you? You good? Okay. Okay, welcome back. Now, Dex, talking about Pixel Pop Stars, did you see the news?
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
He
So
actually reached
Pixel-
out to me before he put it out.
Did
he? Yeah.
Yeah, so Vitz Patel, good friend of ours, they do like a trivia show on YouTube called Pixel Pop Stars, and every different episode has, was it 3 or 4 people against each other? I think it was 4, and then the finale had 3 people against each other. Dex was in one of the games, I was in one of the games, and then there was another game. But I lost my game to somebody who just knew everything, which I think is unfair. I feel like Lucy has a robotic brain and doesn't forget anything. It's kind of messed up, all right?
Hey, Robert,
Yep,
have you just tried being, like, less dumb?
I did. Did not work.
Seems like you
Okay?
didn't try very hard.
No, I didn't. Also, I forgot that Greg Miller was a
Good.
WWE superstar.
Hey,
So did
a
WWE.
brief...
But
Yeah.
Dex won his game, went to the finals, or went to the final round, went to the final game. He won that final game during the final game, and then it turns out that he didn't win because Vitz accidentally missed one of Lucy's answers, and because she got that right, the overall score was updated, and she was the champion. So congrats, Lucy.
Congrats.
And Dex, you failed us. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But season 2 is coming in May. I think Dex and I are actually going to be against each other.
Oh hell yeah! Let's
in our
go.
episode. So it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
That is on Vitz Patel's YouTube channel, Twitch live, and then you can watch it on YouTube, and that is in the video, and we'll have it in the description throughout this month. But you know what else is happening in May? Potentially, Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order dates for America.
Ray.
Hey.
I'll be
Yeah,
completely
this
honest.
is what it's
Your potentially Christmas one was much better, but hey, you know what? I wanted to talk about bits before we did that. So
You know what? It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
yeah,
Vince needed to shine.
Bits, you
Because-
are great.
Yeah, because this is just gonna. I feel this could get really ugly real
Yeah,
quick.
he sent me this whole long thing about being like, "Hey, this happened." I'm like, you're good, my guy. It's all good. But at the end of the day, like, I'd rather you like make it right than just like not say anything to appease me.
Oh yeah. Vitz posted a video yesterday. It was yesterday or this morning. They're in England, so time isn't real. But essentially posted a video being like, this is what happened. Here's the clip where Lucy got a question right. I forgot to put the points on the board, and then just brought Lucy on to actually tell her face to face, be like, hey, just a heads up, there was a problem. You're the champion. So, and she, so it was a fun video. Vitz did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2.
Ooh.
I'm doing this because it doesn't exist yet. Ooh, it never will in America. So yeah, Switch 2, big ol' Switch 2 reveal last week from Nintendo. Mike, do you remember what your guess was on when it would come out?
Oh yeah, no, I said Christmas time, and
Yep,
I was
you were
wrong.
way the fuck off, bud. Yep.
I was watching this at work. I was watching the replay at work because I was in the little phone closet, so nobody comes and checks on me ever. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here watching it, and I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. Every guess that I made about it is completely fucking wrong.
So,
but you know what?
The release date is June 6th, and Cameron was like, the release date I think is going to be June 5th. I was like, haha, idiot. He's too close.
It's right there.
But sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, no, I was wrong about the price, the release date. It was just every possible.
Yeah.
Every question you asked me, I'm just like, nope.
So we just have this video kind of playing. There's no sound though because Nintendo is very fuck you
litigious
about everything. Yeah. So Mike, I mean, you said you watched this one afterwards. What are your just overall top layer thoughts on the Switch 2 and kind of all the announcements that came out with this?
I mean, there's some cool things here. There's a lot of potential. I really do love the addition of another USB-C port on that thing. But man, they spent a lot of time on that microphone and the camera
and the C button.
They spent a lot of time on there, and then, I mean, what we're seeing now, the wheelchair basketball thing. I love that is an option for the mouse.
Yeah,
man, that really feels like it's going to become a gimmick real quick, unless some third party, some AAA titles get developed where that's not just a tacked on thing, but something actually useful. But yeah, my instant reactions were like, there's some cool things here. I wouldn't say no to having a Switch 2, but I am definitely waiting until either a sale or they have the mid-cycle refresh coming up, the Switch 2 Pro or Plus or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Yeah.
Because then the old hardware gets cheaper. And so,
theoretically,
poor bastards like myself, well, I mean, who knows what's going to be happening in the future here in America, folks? Yep.
That future cheaper price is going to be the $449 that it's supposed to launch at.
that future cheaper price is me reenacting a Mob Deep video. Fucking just robbing somebody in the grimiest way.
Use the fucking camera. So yeah, just real quick. So it is coming out June 6th, 2025, worldwide. Pre-orders were supposed to go up yesterday, as this is up on Thursday. It was supposed to go up yesterday in America and Canada, they are delayed for reasons. I think everywhere else they're being
You can go pre-order that shit.
Yeah, in America though, cost is $449 for the base unit, and then $500 for the base unit and Mario Kart World, which is the big launch title for the game. So, Dex, what were your thoughts watching this the other day? Did you watch it live? Did you watch it after the fact? Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I was in Jenny's stream, just kind of chilling out with everybody, so I wasn't like totally like full on paying attention to everything, but
Jenny,
I did watch through it.
Send Nuggies, friend of the show.
Send Nuggies, yeah. But overall, like I like a lot of the stuff they show here. I think one of the bigger surprises are like in handheld mode, they're looking at 1080p 120 FPS. Like I don't think any of us really thought that was going to be the case. Like maybe 720 stable 60 FPS kind of a thing. Yeah. The 4K 60 while docked, I feel like is another thing where it's like just things that you wouldn't think Nintendo would be prioritizing because they haven't really prioritized those aspects of their consoles in a long time. So that was neat to see. It gives me hope that like these big expensive games they're trying to do, these big open worlds, will be able to actually run stably on the system, and it won't be this broken mess as you're trying to play it. But I liked a lot of the games that they showed. The Donkey Kong game I think looks really cool. I'm intrigued to learn more about the Dust Bloods because I know that came out being as a PvPvE, and that's right.
Did you tell her I waved?
Oh no, she just immediately walked out.
I saw her come in and was on brief, barely unframed, but I'm just sitting there waving like, hi, welcome.
But curious to see how that works because for me, like when I play like Souls games, I already don't really care for the PvP aspect, and I can at least tolerate it because it's not a constant thing. Like they'll come in and at least then I could like quit out the game, or I could go hide somewhere, or what have you. Like there's ways I can kind of avoid it, but with this, I'm worried that it's like you're in the world with other people in a constant state, and so if I'm trying to make progress in terms of the VE aspect, do I always have to constantly worry about versus the other players?
Yeah, like is some dude about to just come rock my shit as I'm about to accomplish this goal I've been working at for the last 3 hours?
Yep.
Yeah. Dusk or Dust Bloods?
Dusk Bloods.
Dusk Bloods, yeah, because they're vampires. It's not Bloodborne.
It's totally not Bloodborne.
Totally not Bloodborne, Sony. Don't even look at it, okay?
Don't even look at it.
Don't even do it, Sony, okay?
Sony,
it was like I can't remember what movie it's from or show, but it's like they're like, look, it's Bloodborne, and the person's
Goldmember.
No,
yeah.
It looks like Bloodborne, but for copyright reasons, it's not Bloodborne.
Still, we should react as though it is Bloodborne, although it isn't. Yeah, we went over to my brother and sister-in-law's house the other day, literally to watch a Godzilla movie, one of the older Godzilla movies, and the entire time. Yeah. Like we're talking, it was a great one. You know, it was a fun movie. It's dumb as shit, and it was great. But then we started talking about Goldmember, so we pulled up Plex and just put Goldmember on. And I think we left right before kind of that scene, though. But that's been going around. That's been going around online.
Yeah, but so I'm curious to see how that works. I enjoyed the Souls genre. I'm just really curious to see how they're going to implement that, how it's going to be executed before I'm like going to be in on all that. Yeah. But everything else looks really cool. Like the presentation, I thought was really well done. I did think it was weird that they spent so much time on this camera thing. Like, I know people want a more robust way of online for Nintendo consoles, but like, tell us like, hey, we have a new net code that we're doing, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like that would excite people more rather than like, hey, your friends can see you, which I think is fine. Like if that can help enhance like Mario Party or something like that, like that's cool. Yeah. It's cool to have it, but like spending so much time on it, I thought was weird. When the issue is like people can't play your games that they want to play online with in a reliable way.
I saw something on Blue Sky. I need to go look this up if I can find it. But you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm just really quick. I have SnowBikeMike up here, on the screen on my TV, and he is finishing Final Fantasy X.
Hell yeah!
Like he is watching the final cutscenes, and he is
Oh hell yeah!
he is bawling, as he
That's
should
awesome.
be. Yeah. So, big ups to Mike. He's on camera. Everybody told him you're going to be crying. He's like, I know I will, and he's watching this, and he is, yeah. So
That's awesome.
Big ups to SnowBikeMike for one finishing
Hell yeah.
Final Fantasy X. He just, I guess, started playing it because people were talking about it, and he's like, oh, let's try this out, and got hopelessly addicted to it. And now
he did
he's
a
live.
lot of the hardest shit in there.
Yeah.
Like he was dedicated.
Yeah, and he's live on Twitch right now, crying over the end of a 20-year game because it means a lot, and it is good to see. Guys, you're allowed to cry. Everybody's allowed to cry.
Everybody.
For real.
Dicks.
Yeah, not me though.
Damn. All right.
I think having more storage on board is exciting. Like obviously it'd been nice if they could have done like a terabyte, but it's Nintendo, so I think having what they said 8 times the storage as the original Switch is a big kind of leap.
And then like one of the things though with the storage is you can't use micro SD that you were already using. You have to use micro SD extra or what? Micro extra SD?
Express.
Express. Thank you.
It's Express. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to delve into more faster memory. Why they're going with SDs? Who knows? Like I get you could like. It's like it works for a handheld, but it's also like if you could just have like an M.2 in there, that'd be like 1,000 times better.
Yeah. It's. There are so many things that are cool about this that I really like, and then there are just kind of some weird choices. You know what I mean? Like the 1080p 120 hertz on the screen, or 60, was it 60 hertz?
120 handheld 810p
handheld,
and then
yeah,
like
that's insane on a handheld like that.
Yeah,
but 256 gigs of storage. Okay, that's a bit weird. Things are gonna look good, but I mean, how am I going to be able to, like, what am I playing? You know, that's going to kind of be able to really push the boundaries. Or are we starting to push the boundaries immediately because they said Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out to the Switch 2?
Well, because like even with that, it's coming out in a way where you use the cartridge to be able to then download it, I think, to the system, because the cartridge can't hold all of it as far as like, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on that, but I know there's some games are gonna work like that, to where like the cartridge is more how some game discs are, to where like it's more of like it gives you the ability to play, but you're really downloading most of the game.
And then Dusk Bloods again, just kind of going back to it because I got distracted by SnowBikeMike. Final Fantasy X. He's going through it right now. So
proud of him.
Yeah, but we love to see it. We love to see it, Mike. Big ups to you. But Duskbloods, for me at least, I'm not the biggest Souls guy. You know, I really love Elden Ring. Have not been able to really get into any other Souls games. So seeing Duskbloods and then seeing, oh, it's from Software and it's exclusive to the Switch too. I think along with a lot of people, were like, holy shit, that's huge. And then after the fact, they're like, oh, and it's PvE, blah, 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 and it's multiplayer, and it's this, and it's that. And for me, at least, I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good. If I wanted to do multiplayer Elden Ring, I'll play multiplayer Elden Ring when it comes out next month. You know? Yeah. It's very odd to me, actually, that's Duskblood is going to be one of your big tentpole games for the Switch 2. It is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd that they wouldn't just be like, hey, let's make sure we've got this great single player thing and you can add some multiplayer things onto it. Like with Elden Ring, you know, you can technically play Elden Ring, a lot of it multiplayer, but
yeah, it
is a single player world and they were able to focus on the world and doing that. And now with the Switch 2, oh yeah, we've got we've got a chat button on the controller, and then you can Discord with your friends, and you can see their screens at 10 FPS, which is by design, apparently. And a completely unproven online ecosystem with the Switch 2, and this is going to be one of the biggest things that you're coming out with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, it does.
I'm rambling.
No, it does because
rambling, but...
no, it does because you're looking at like this Elden Ring thing's supposedly going to be always online. I'm just assuming, like they haven't said that, but I'm assuming it's going to be always online for it to do the whole PvP VE aspect. Plus Mario Kart World having upwards of 24 racers on there. Like, is that how lobbies are going to work? To where you're going to have 24 different people from all around the world playing on the same track? And it's
Jesus.
We have not had enough confidence in Nintendo's ability to run online lobbies in their games to have confidence in like a big, seemingly open world with Dustbloods to now an open world Mario Kart game that's trying to track 24 different players all at the same time. Like people could barely play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate online, so it's like,
and
it just
the way
feels
that
unnecessary to add this stuff without kind of showing us like, hey, this we're taking this seriously, like making a point like, hey, we know this hasn't been great in the past, but here's what we're doing now and this is why it's going to work.
Yeah, instead of just the, here's the, you press the C and it pulls up the chat, which you have to imagine is going to be a Nintendo Switch Online required thing. So now you have a button on the controller that is paywalled. So if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, what the fuck is that thing going to do? You know? But you've got this chat button on here to be able to talk to people over the microphone and the speaker on the console, which is probably going to be, might be docked over here. You know, like for me at least, I play my Switch docked. It's over on the other side of the room, plugged into my TV. And then I've got a Pro controller.
So you're going to be sitting there screaming at your Switch 2.
Your spouse is going to come out and be like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm trying to tell them to stop crashing into me in Mario Kart.
This motherfucker with the blue shell.
Yeah, no, like that one was bonkers to me. Instead of just being like, hey, here's like an easy way to connect a headset to this thing.
Yeah.
Nintendo's just like, yell at your fucking console.
Yell at your TV. But don't worry, we made it so that it'll only hear your voice and nothing else in the room.
It'll only hear human voices.
Like, I'm so glad you brought that, because with this Nintendo Switch 1, you need to download a whole different app, connect your headset to your phone to then be able to voice chat with your friends playing on the console. And it's like, why wouldn't you show like, hey, this is all integrated, this is all being done on the system? And it's just like you go into your Xbox or PlayStation and being like, I'm trying to play on my headset and I can talk to people.
Yeah.
Which you have to imagine, but then once again, it's Nintendo, weird Nintendo decisions. You have to imagine that there will be just the option to use a headset on your, you know, not obviously with just with the Joy-Cons by themselves, which we'll talk about here in a moment, but maybe with the thing that it plugs into, because if it's like the Switch 1, it's going to come with at least a basic one that won't charge, but maybe it'll have enough juice to be able to do a headset. Or I think they said the new Pro controller also has a headphone jack now. But you have to imagine that they are you have to be able to just do it in the controller that way.
Yeah, like, then again, it would be insane if this was the only option.
Yeah. But then again, weird Nintendo decisions.
Yeah, like, it's like, you would think, like, these are I feel like the common sense things, like, with, like, Xbox or PlayStation, like, as much as you could, like, argue certain things about this, like, you know, like, hey, if I get a headset that's compatible with this, I can just turn it on and it works, kind of a thing, for the most part. With this, it's like, okay, there's a headphone jack in the controller, and you would think, like, hey, if I plugged in a headset to that, therefore the headset should work, and I should be able to talk to my friends. But I can easily see them being like, oh, well, we didn't design it to support that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be like, you can hear your friends through it.
Or, like, you can just hear game audio, or that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear, but it can't transmit the audio the other way. You can only hear things.
Yeah. My dream scenario is you can hear your friends, but you still have to yell at your thing. So you just turn into a stereotype from like an 80s or 90s movie. Just the dude with the Walkman and the headphones. Yeah, man, it's so great. It's crystal clear.
It's so funny because me and my wife are watching Lost right now, and there's episode of like one of the flashbacks was with the guy who's a little bit more heavy set. And
Hurley.
he's in like and he's in the record store, and the girl he's like crushed on puts the headphones on him, and he's like, "Hey, I was wondering." She's like, "Oh."
Oh, Hurley. He's the best part of that show.
He's great.
All right. Well, you know what we're gonna do here, Dex? We're gonna edit around this. We're gonna cut to the Pixel Pop Stars ad now and kind of edit around it. So we'll cue it up, and then Mike's gonna go change real quick. So yeah. So before we keep talking about the Switch 2, we want to show off a little ad from our friend Vitz Patel. Their new show, or Season 2 of Pixel Pop Stars, is coming in May on their YouTube channel, so take a look at this.
What's good, everyone? My name is Vitz Patel, and I've been working on something special.
It's time for Pixel Pop Stars, the all-new game show on Twitch. Specialist subject.
Watch new episodes live on twitch.tv/VitzPatel.
All right, Pixel Pop Stars in May. Yeah, take a look at that. Dex and I, once again, are on one of the episodes. I don't know which one. I think as of right now, May 24th. It's a Saturday. So, yeah, I think that sounds right. All right, so Switch 2 talk. Let us keep going here. We talked about the dock, or the display. The dock has 4K output, which is great for people. Yeah. The Joy-Con 2, the new controllers that plug into it. A bit underwhelming to me, to be honest with you. Simply because they do not have Hall effect, which was like one of the big rumors. So hopefully, it's totally cool if they don't have it, but if Nintendo hasn't figured out a way to stop stick drift from happening in the Joy-Cons almost immediately, they seem like more expensive problems than
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like that's such like a no-brainer to like move towards, with especially third party really kind of delving into Hall effect sticks that really just get rid of stick drift altogether. But especially with the fact that they got the stick drift was so bad.
8-bit dough wireless controller that I use on my computer. This was $30. Has Hall effect sticks. I don't think it has Hall effect triggers. I think I could have bought one with Hall effect triggers as well, and it would have been $10 more. You know, so
Nice.
Yeah. But I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
But it's like the stick drift in the original Joy-Cons are so bad that they had to start fixing them free. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They tried to be like, no, there's nothing wrong with the Joy-Cons. Like,
Or it's wear
they
and
tried
tear.
really
blah,
hard.
blah.
They tried really hard to like, even though people would buy brand new Joy-Cons and they would get stick drift like that.
Yeah.
And it's just odd. Like, I get it. Like, bad PR isn't something you want, but like, put something in there that gives people at least hope to be like, we're working to minimize stick drift, something like that. Don't even acknowledge like how bad it was on like the originals. Just be like, hey, ours have this new tech for anti-stick drift, or whatever the fuck, like whatever you want to call it.
Like,
But
hey,
there's no
look at
mention.
the
It's just
internal.
like-
You don't even have to say they're better and they're not going to have the stick drift like the old ones. You can just be, oh, and we have a new technology with the sticks and all this stuff. You don't have to go into it. You can put it in like a press thing later on, like a little press release that you're not talking about on screen. But just if you've made any changes with that with the sticks, just throw a line in the video. Yeah, these are the new Joy-Cons. They've got bigger, SL and SR buttons, whatever the fuck it is. On the one on the top, they're bigger. It's going to be easier to handle. They're physically bigger, and then we've made some changes in the sticks.
Yeah.
Now let's look at this. And that's.
Yeah.
If it's the same thing though, you gotta feel like it's gonna be another fucking stick drift problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's
Okay. Yeah.
For me, like it's cool to hear that like they're updating the rumble in this and the Joy-Cons, but it's also like they didn't really put much emphasis on it in the original Switch when that was like the first like HG rumble we had felt at the time. Like it was quickly forgotten about, like outside of a handful of games really trying to like utilize it. It was kind of just forgotten and just used as regular
Yeah.
vibration. Like I feel like Sony has done a good job to where not every game makes full use of it, but like the DualSense has, I think, enough integration in games to not be such a forgotten thing. Like I feel like I can find games to where like, oh yeah, like I can feel the rain, or like, oh I can feel like the engine revving, whatever it may be. Like I feel like enough games utilize it to where it's like you wouldn't say it's a forgotten feature. It's like you can find
It's
it
there.
present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And the
Mike, I
same
mean,
thing with
you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say same thing with like the mice. I think there's could be really cool applications, but I can easily see that becoming the same thing where like
Just
at
like
first they put some games out there that can use it, but outside of like maybe being able to go around a certain menu or look around a map or whatever, like you're not going to see really any kind of innovative additions to that
Yeah.
utilization.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to bring up because Mike mentioned the mouse earlier, and I said we would talk about it.
Mhm.
They showed off a couple of different things with the mouse. One
Yeah.
was the wheelchair basketball game, which
the
now I
wheelchair,
can't remember.
whatever it is.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the other was one way that you can play Metroid Prime.
You would
4?
like
And yeah,
whatever it is.
and Civilization 7 also. You
Oh,
can
Civ
use
7.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Civ 7 is to me the most important one that they've shown off because that's not a first party game.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
my big worry about the mouse, and I think I mentioned this last week or either here on I was a guest on Neon Pocket Dimensions podcast talking about this before the reveal. My worry with them chucking a mouse in the Joy-Cons is that it's going to be something that Nintendo games really take advantage of, and that's it.
yeah. Or like my concern is like the thing they showed from like one of the clips that they kept showing on the that trailer we had going on was just like, oh yeah, in Metroid Prime 4 you can use the mouse like a mouse, like you would playing on PC. It's just like I fear we're gonna get some weird like PC games migrating their way over,
Mhm.
but and then in 20 years, or if we're still around in 20 years, they're going to be like footnotes. Like they're going to be mentioned in like some random YouTube or whatever the hell it is in the future video. It's just like, oh, and this version of the game existed.
Yeah, this one you could use a mouse on the screen, but they also it's a console game, so they also made it so you didn't have to use the mouse on the screen. Like
Yeah, and like
Well, like, because like when Blessing and Tim went and got their hands on with the Switch, they were saying like it was kind of seamless. That's the word I was looking for. From being able to go from mouse mode back to Joy-Con, like regular controls. So I think that's cool, but it's like I'm wondering, even if this is a well-supported feature, I wonder how many people are actually going to utilize that feature in place of playing a game how you normally would as just a controller. Like I get like the novelty, people might try it out and like, oh, this is cool. Maybe in some games it works out better. But I wonder like how long does that stay? How long do people continue to utilize that? And it's also like I think about when you're going to sit down and play your Switch, do you always have something, a table or whatever, to make that a comfortable experience next to you? Like do you always have like a TV dinner tray off to the side that you can just come and pop out? Like your coffee table's too low, so you're gonna be like hunched over kind of a thing. Like that's another thing I was thinking of, like that just seems like a lot of it, like an extra step to utilize this feature that I feel like a lot of people would just be like, yeah, I'll just play it. Like I'll just put on the connector
put on the
controller and I'll
dock.
just play. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing I was looking for earlier, I feel is very I thought Imran Khan either said it or
the Dawn
reposted it. Yeah. No, he didn't. I can't remember where I saw it now, and I really wish I could give credit to whoever originally posted this. Somebody said it's the same name with like a character placed after it. It has weird, seemingly gimmicky technology, and your big first-party title, there's only one of them at launch. Are we talking about the Switch 2 or the Wii U?
Yeah.
Because that's like looking more and more and like having time to kind of look at this whole thing. It does feel a bit Wii U-ish. It feels like this is a step between what we have and what is going to be.
My only pushback on that, is that I think, which would, you know what I mean. I don't necessarily disagree. I also don't think this is going to be like the failure that the Wii U was. I think some of the biggest problems of it will be, we'll talk about those in a minute. You know, the actual availability and the pricing and whether or not the prices are going to go up. The price of the actual games themselves seems to be going up, you know, stuff like that. But when it comes to just the console and Dex said the word that's perfect when it comes to the mouse, the novelty of that.
Yeah.
This feels different from the Wii U in the simple fact that it is adding something onto the Switch. It is a Switch 2. It's the Switch, and here's some more bells and whistles to maybe use it. Whereas the Wii U is a dramatic departure from the Wii with the motion control and everything, and now all of a sudden you have this giant fucking Duke controller with a screen in it that you're supposed to be able to do both things, where it didn't really seem like it wasn't an evolution of the Wii at all. It was something brand new, and the naming convention of it didn't do it any favors. A lot of people saw it and thought, oh, this is just an add-on, or it's just a new version of the Wii. You know, where now the Switch 2 is a new Switch, and it's the same thing, but bigger, better, more powerful, and now you got a mouse for why not? And you can buy a camera that looks like, you know, the plant. So I get where that sentiment is coming from, where it's the same thing with the new name, and there's only the one. Everything else matches, but I just don't see the giant departure from what the Switch was compared to the Switch 2 when it, you know, in comparison to the Wii U. You know, that shouldn't have been called the Wii U. That was one of many mistakes of it. But I pulled out this controller because I was looking at the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller here is the first, and it is a Pro Controller, but it's the first still base controller from a first-party manufacturer that has back paddles and back buttons.
Interesting.
Because it has two back paddles, you know, on the back. They're down here. I know that this one has extra ones, but they're up here, so I was kind of looking at it to see. You got the boom, boom, and then these little fuckers.
Gotcha.
But yeah, obviously, like the Elite controller from Xbox has back paddles. The DualSense Edge, it's Edge, I think, has back paddles, but those are the top of the line, the more expensive models, where the Pro controller is just the premium. Thank you. But yeah, the mouse, I would love to eat my words on it. I don't see it being, and maybe it's not supposed to be, I don't see it being like the big thing for the Switch 2.
No.
Yeah, and like any like kind of negativity, I kind of say like, I hope I'm wrong. I want things to be cool. I want people to find cool ways of using things. Like, no way I'm saying like, I hope this fucking sucks. Like, I would think it would be awesome if people are like, hey, this mouse edition that we're all skeptical of is fucking cool shit, and it really adds a lot of depth to what we can do with our games. Like, I hope it's something like that, but it's just with Nintendo's track record, I just can't have that expectation or hope, I guess.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to talk about what Mike was talking about, like the games at launch. Like, I think it's very weird to have the biggest game that kind of showed that's the kind of big Switch 2 game, Donkey Kong, coming out a whole month after the Switch releases. And it seems like in a lot of ways they're going to ride on Switch 1 ports.
Which
until then. And so I think it's just that doesn't give me a lot of confidence because I feel like a lot of the Switch's life cycle, don't get me wrong, has really, really amazing games, but really relied on Wii U ports to fill out years where they did not have a lot coming out of their first party wheelhouse. And so I'm wondering if we're going to run the same thing where, hey, we don't really have anything come out, so we're just going to be porting over Switch games so you could buy them at $80 again.
Yeah.
And
Or if you have
that's what you
Nintendo
get
Switch Online, you'll get the upgrades.
yeah,
Theoretically. I think that's somebody said that. I'm not sure if that's
yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
like, I just feel like we're running into that same thing where it's not the Wii U anymore, but now it's Switch games coming to Switch too,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
it almost. I'm not saying this is what they're saying, but it almost feels like an excuse to not kind of have that steady lineup of new first party games.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we kind of touched on for a moment there was the price of the games. Specifically, Mario Kart World coming out at $80, as opposed to Nintendo games for the most part have been $60 throughout the Switch's life cycle. Everything else is going up to $70, and now Mario Kart World is $80, but Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. Like, so what sort of like tier system are they trying to use? It's Mario Kart World is worth $80 and Donkey Kong Bonanza is only worth $70. Does that mean that it's a smaller title? Is it not as polished? Kind of what are they thinking of with this? What are third party games going to come out as? I know there was that rumor that seems to be debunked of prices physically being a little bit higher, but I think that was completely debunked. Or it was like one country. It was odd. But the price of the games going up, I mean, was that inevitable?
I think if you're looking at it purely from an economic standpoint, yeah, like you could look at inflation trends and stuff like that, and you can make it make sense in that space. But in terms of like how the world is doing, like the world's still dealing with inflation, like especially here in the States, like the whole tariff thing, like we're strapped for money more than we have ever had before, like I would say in our lifetimes for our generation. And to have like, because like I see a lot of people like saying like, oh, it's just $10 more, but it's like it's not the only thing going up. If everything else was affordable and like these are going up to 80, I think people are like, oh, it kind of sucks, but it's like it's not detrimental to like, hey, can I still engage in my hobby like I've been able to before in years past? Because literally my rent's going up, food's going up, my electric bill's going up, everything. Like it's not just these, it's like it's just another cost in terms of everything else in your life going up. So it's like I think the price this time around really hits harder than in the past. And so economically I think you can make it make sense, but I also think like in terms of how that impacts the vast majority of gamers, I think they should have kept it at 70. And I think their whole pricing thing is weird because I remember seeing someone sent me a picture of like the Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 version's like $80 as well. And then also Mario Party's Switch 2 version is also $80. So it's like, why are Switch 1 ports now $80, but the Switch 2 big game Donkey Kong 70? So it's just odd. And I don't know. I just think it's a weird strategy, and I think it
is. Yeah. Initially, and like this was just it was a theory that was clearly debunked by seeing other prices. My thought was, oh, they're gonna make Mario Kart World $80. Everything else will be $70, but Mario Kart World will be $80 unless you buy the bundle, and then it's only $50. So might as well buy the bundle. You know what I mean? But then
I'm sure
like
there's
you said,
like some aspect,
Yeah.
like there's some aspect to that, I'm sure, because that like I feel it's pretty clear to be like, hey, why if I'm gonna already get Mario Kart when I buy the Switch 2, why would I not just go for the bundle? And then they're getting that guaranteed sale kind of a thing. So I think there is an element to that. If I don't say it's the whole reason, but I think there is some element to the strategy there.
Yeah, I mean that's Nintendo definitely wants to get you in that ecosystem. So if they'll gladly take less profit on Mario Kart World to get you in there to kind of already give you that first hit at a discounted price. And they're like, ah, yes. And now the rest of the children are going to be coming to buy their $80 games.
Yeah.
Because they played Mario Kart World for 6 hours straight. And they have convinced themselves that, yes, this is the top of the mountain where champions are made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So another thing they announced quite a bit, a lot of games, but the other thing was Nintendo Switch Online expansion packs adding GameCube games.
Yeah, that
That was exciting. Like,
that's
Yeah.
cool.
I was actually excited. Like that actually kind of made me think: do I want to actually like if whenever I do end up getting the Switch 2, do I actually want to get Nintendo Online?
Yeah,
Because
I
like
think
it
by
was
the
cool when
time
it first
comes
came.
out, let's see what's on it, because there
Yeah.
are 3 titles available at launch: F-Zero GX, Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur 2.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like that was like the first time where I was like, ooh, do I really want Nintendo
Mhm.
Online kind of a thing? Because like I had a GameCube during that time, and like I love a lot of the games on the GameCube, and so like it's like Sony adding more PlayStation 2 games on
Yeah.
PS Plus, like it becomes more
Mhm.
enticing for people like of our age.
Oh yeah.
Mike, what's the GameCube game that you want on there?
Smash Brothers, because that was like that was the game.
Which one
No,
was that?
so
Melee?
Yep, mainly.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, that
Played the
was
shit out of
one
that one.
when my buddy had Super Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64. We'd all go over to his house, play the shit out of it, and then he got a GameCube, got Melee, and we did the exact same thing for a number of years. Just go over to his house and play the shit out of Melee,
Yeah.
and then yeah, then we started going to Xbox LAN parties, and yep,
hmm
2 paths diverged in a golden wood, and I took the road with the green lighting.
And they also announced there's going to be that the GameCube controller
Yes, which god
that comes
damn
out
it, I
with you
love
back.
that thing.
Yeah, it's I.
It's
God, I'm a sucker for companies being like, especially Sony doesn't have to do it. You know what I mean? Because for better or worse, the DualSense and the Dual Shock has been the same basic design since the first DualShock back on the PS1. It's
The
just been
only
kind of
thing,
expanded on. Yeah,
yeah, like this is a little bigger only because it has to have that,
yeah,
the light, you know,
yeah.
but this is still like the same shape and feel that I remember from my youth.
Yeah, Xbox has probably a couple that they could do. I mean, they've had third party companies come out with them. You know, where they released I don't know what company it was. Was it Hori that they made like a Duke controller for the
Oh, yeah.
Xbox One, and then either the same company or another one made an Xbox 360 wired controller like that shape, but for the Series X that had like the share button and everything. But Nintendo has been just every new console has a new thing. Has a new
Yeah,
massive departure.
they're all dramatically different.
Yeah, I think for better or for worse, the demo has like the games where like it doesn't feel right to play like let's say Mario 64 without like
Yeah.
the N64 controller, or like it doesn't feel the same to play like Melee without the GameCube controller, what have you. Like it just they go these massive departures, and you get so familiarized with those games on that weird controller setup that it's like for better, like for worse, like they could sell you to get like for more money later on, but like for better, it's like I think it's a cool like memory thing. Like, yeah, I think it helped connects you to the game in some way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because like you said, you think of playing Melee, and you're thinking of the GameCube controller, or probably I think at that point, because that was one of the big things for it, was the Wavebird, the wireless GameCube controller, which a lot of
Yep,
people
we
have.
had one of
yeah.
those.
Yeah, very
God, that
fond
thing was
memories
so
of.
good.
Yeah,
That thing
So
was so
good.
you think
So,
of, you think of
so
probably the best like wireless controller I ever had
oh yeah,
at that time.
dude, top tier.
yeah, which I think on our controller tier list we did a while back, I believe that was S tier.
Yeah,
I believe we put that in S tier, and I
great.
just kind of defaulted to Mike on that one. But
to my unhinged ravings.
no, and then yeah, Mario 64 and GoldenEye, you
Yeah,
think of playing on the fucking giant Dong controller,
yeah, just
I don't know what they called
gripping
it.
that shaft.
Yeah, just gripping that shaft and twisting it around.
You know,
But Yeah, so GameCube coming to NSO, not too surprising, but still a surprise, that they actually announced it in this way,
Yeah.
at least to me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
cost-wise, for the Switch 2, like we said, in America, once again, $450 for the console itself, and then a bundle of $500 that comes with Mario Kart World. A little bit more than I kind of thought, but I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be $400 for the base model. So $50 is obviously it's a good chunk of change, but it's not like, hey, we're the PS3 and we're coming out at $600 for 20 gigabytes. You know what I mean?
$599 US.
Yeah.
599 freedom vouchers.
I'm not happy that it's more expensive, but like
No.
I was also kind of happy that like I called the price of the Switch 2 because that's why I was saying it was $450 the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but damn. But
Man.
it's gonna be interesting because I feel like what the best explanation I feel like I've heard someone say that I think probably the most plausible one why they're delaying pre-orders here is because they're trying to see if the tariffs will actually stay,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, then they don't have to change the price. But if they do stay, I very much think in some shape or form we're going to see a different price here in the
So-
States.
For sure.
So I'm glad you bring that up because I have another article kind of lined up here from Polygon. Michael McWhirter. This was posted earlier today, 3 p.m. Switch 2 price won't increase in response to tariff, analyst says. So obviously this isn't like a confirmed thing, but
Yeah.
kind of reaching out. One research firm expects the price of the Switch 2 to hold steady in response to sweeping tariffs, arguing that Nintendo had already baked potential tariffs into the system's costs. So a lot of people are saying, or thinking at least, that this $450 price tag was in response to just the threat and the idea of these tariffs coming into play. But
So I guess like my question would be why delay pre-orders at that point then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
If it's already baked in and that was already kind of part of the plan, I think it's a little erroneous to all of a sudden be like, hey, only in this region we're delaying pre-orders, and call out the tariffs, and then say it. I'm not saying that they probably have a little bit more insight than I do, but it's just like kind of looking at the chain of events. It's just a little confusing to go from, hey, here's the price, we're gonna let you start pre-ordering it tomorrow. Yesterday when this goes up, but but then not long after the Switch Direct saying, hey, we're pausing these due to the tariffs. And it's like it just kind of rings hollow almost to say that this was baked in if it's causing to literally delay the pre-orders.
Well, I think one of the talking points out of these tariffs coming out, and I don't know about you guys, I'm not a financial expert, okay?
No, I'm not either. I'm speculating a lot.
I'm as well versed in financial things and business as our current president, but one of the things that a lot of people were kind of mentioning was, yes, it was the tariffs against like China and Japan were expected, and in the past, like in the past few years, Nintendo's been moving manufacturing over to Vietnam, and they weren't expecting any sort of hit on Vietnam, and then Vietnam got hit with 46% tariff prices from these numbers that were legitimately just made up.
Yep, they were.
So that might be.
Way.
So I think with that being said, I think both of those statements could be true, Dex, where they baked in the price of these potential tariffs on Japan and or China where they were doing manufacturing, but then when these tariffs came into Vietnam where they pushed a lot of manufacturing, that's where they're like, oh, hold up,
that's a good perspective, and I think that's totally valid. And
that's once again all just conjecture. Mike is the business major here, so Mike, tell us what's going
on. I do think that I didn't read the article. So
it's because I didn't send it to him.
It's whatever. I don't know what's going on in any of these episodes until I'm there. So listeners, viewers, we're learning together.
I love you, and I couldn't do this without you.
Love you too, buddy. I know. I could not stand doing this with anybody but you.
Get out of here, Dex. We're gonna make out.
I'll do it.
Yeah, no. So I think, I mean, this is an analyst just kind of predicting, and this is what they do. But yeah, I mean, I think people saw tariffs coming. I don't think the big question was the numbers, and that's something that you can't really predict. So Nintendo very well could be like, hey, we got to go recrunch some numbers.
Yeah.
Because every console manufacturer takes a bath on the hardware. They sell you the hardware kind of close to cost, but definitely below it.
Oh yeah,
so
no,
they can sell you games.
They sell hardware at a loss because they make the money on the software. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So, but there comes a point where it's just like, we're not going to take this much of a fucking bath on this thing just to get you to buy $70, $80, potentially $90 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the juice is not worth the squeeze at that point because we're losing way too much on the front end to try to make it up on the back end. So I think they're probably like, hey, we got to go try and figure out the new number.
Yeah.
That doesn't
try to figure
cripple
out
us.
the golden number where we're not taking too much of a loss, but
yes,
we're still able to kind of if we hit these numbers, then we're still kind of being where we want to be, or at least close to where we want to be.
Yeah, like if projections of hardware and software run true or close to it, we'll be fine, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're actually doing math, unlike, anybody in the government over here. So, I mean, real actual math, not this just arbitrary, I don't know, take it, double it, cut it in third, or whatever the fuck it is they did to get these numbers.
Put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Okay? Is great for a Missy Elliott song. Not how to run a fucking country. Okay?
Face down, ass up. That's how I like my tax base.
I do also remember, I think it was kind of funny about this news story. I think it was another analyst talking about that they could see prices going up by 50%, depending on how Nintendo decides to kind of address the tariffs. I know we won't know until, pre-orders are up and it's the same price and everything's kosher, or we have a marginally higher price or an exponentially higher price. Because if they're still producing out of Vietnam, and 46% on top of all that, it's got to go up a significant amount if they're going to try and keep it close to that cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the very least we're looking 30-40%, something like that.
I think at the very, very least a 0.25%, 25 at least. Pushing that over that $500 mark just for the base console.
Yeah, and that's one of those, man, like, if you're a big Nintendo fan, you really have to take a step back and be like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even me, I'm just like, I would love to get a Switch 2 would be rad, but now I'm like, Switches already exist in this country, and I can get them used. Like, like there's nothing selling me. If look at him go.
Is that the actual Zelda
shit.
one?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Oh, neat.
That's over here.
Gonna announce this right now. If we hit 500 subs on YouTube by the end of the year and I have to play Zelda, Dex is gonna send me that Switch to play it on. So.
Sure. I haven't turned it on in like almost a year, so.
Cool, that's good, because then I'll be able to charge it for
Fresh.
a month, and then it might hit 1%.
I actually have the charge. It's actually fully charged right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no way to know or even kind of predict. There we go. God, it's
Look
so
at that.
ugly. Ugh. It's fucking
Robert's
terrible.
trying to make a point. Dex is showing off his accessories. I'm just here, cowpokes.
Yep. But we won't really know what these tariffs are going to fucking do to anything. Which
God, no.
nobody does.
We don't even
Like,
know
nobody.
if
There's
some of
not a
these are going to
person.
stand.
Exactly. We don't know.
It's so whiplashy.
It's fucking flooding the zone. They're doing a great job of it, you know. But yeah, no, like this is. It could pre-order at $450. It could pre-order at $550. You know, you could be able to actually pre-order the goddamn thing. Who knows? Who knows? That's the point we're trying to make, folks. Is
I mean,
you know what?
I could even see it being to where like what Sony and Xbox had to do kind of later on in their generation, where they upped the price in certain regions, where maybe it does launch at 450, but let's say 6 months to a year later, they're like, okay, this is going up now.
Yeah, it's a bit too much of a loss now, and we're not making enough money on the software because the software is also more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah,
because arbitrary and petty reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, that is more the 450 price tag and the 500 price tag. The only reason that was slightly shocking to me was that it's Nintendo.
Yeah,
you know, if that was like a new Xbox or new PlayStation, you're like, oh, 450. We'd be like, oh shit, it's cheaper, you know?
Right.
But it's Nintendo, so it's the Switch 1 came out at $300, so it is a 50% price jump from the original Switch release launch price.
Yeah.
But then the game prices, and especially not just being clear across the board, is what's really kind of. I think a lot of people complaining about the price, and just from what I've seen, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but a lot of people complaining about the prices are more upset about the price of the games themselves as opposed to the console.
Yeah, that's the big thing I've been seeing too. And man, here's the thing: like, as long as I can remember, like for the majority of my game playing and buying career, games were $50. But if you were to, you know, plug that into an inflation calculator, like say Ocarina of Time, released in '98. $50. If it were to keep the same price in relation to inflation and everything, it would be $90.
Right.
You know, the fact that you're paying $60 for a game today means you would have been paying $30, like $30-$40 back in the day. And it's like, man, these things got way more fucking complicated and complex. How the hell you're doing this for $60?
Because you're selling millions of copies. You know, you're still
right.
They're probably still making a profit if they, you know, they have a certain number that they have to hit. Where even
there's
Alan
no way
Wake,
there's not.
Like there's a profitability line, and it's
Alan Wake 2 came out for I want to say 60 instead of 70. Like it was about $10 cheaper because there wasn't a physical version of it. It was only
I believe you're right. Yes,
only digital, but. You know, that came out only digitally, and they said they had to sell, I think, like 2 million copies to become profitable.
Yeah.
And they still haven't sold it.
Yeah, no,
you know?
Like everything that gets sold, there is. I know this because at one of my old jobs, I got to see how the sausage was made. You know, like we developed a new product, we were getting ready to release it, but one of the big things was, okay, this is the price point we are looking at because that will make us competitive in the marketplace. How many of these do we need to sell to break even? And how many of these do we need to sell for it to, you know, pay for the next step of development for this line of products? And that's every company that sells shit goes through that. So, you know, Nintendo, all the publishers, like, they know their number. They have a number.
Yeah.
They don't always say it, but you will see news stories where it's like, oh yeah, this game, you know, it's great, it's awesome, it's sold a bunch, but the publisher is calling it a failure because it didn't sell.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot with Square Enix. Like every fucking game hasn't sold as well as they wanted to. And then you're like, oh, how much did the Tomb Raider game sell? Oh, like 5 million. What the fuck were you expecting? How much did you spend on this game? You know?
Yeah, like, it's just, like, that math is crazy. Because it's just, it makes you, it can make you doubt how good the thing it is you're doing is. You're just like, wait, what do you mean I gotta sell this many units at this price?
Yeah.
And then I am validated as a creative?
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, I think it's fair to say, like, it becomes hard to turn a profit as game costs go up. but
Yeah.
like I would be hard pressed to say that like by and large the industry is just not making profit. Like yeah,
Oh,
you have
God.
games that fail, but it's like games are still the most profitable entertainment medium
Mhm.
out there.
Oh,
Bigger than TV,
Christ,
bigger
yeah.
than movies. Like as much as like AAA development costs are a real big issue, they're still turning profits. It's not where
Oh,
I think this kind of I would say the execs or the publishers kind of make it seem like, oh, we're kind of like not in a good place in the industry because they're not reaching necessarily their numbers.
yeah, no, they're
They're still turning a profit. Like the games
Mhm.
wouldn't stay $60 if they couldn't turn the profit.
oh yeah.
Like obviously like the $70 gives you a little bit more guarantee that you could hit that. Say you sold the same amount, but you're getting $10 on top of that. That equals to you more likely to reach whatever milestone you're trying to get. But yeah, I don't know. It's become a really hard thing because development prices keep going higher, and where does that fit in with where prices go? How much are we willing to pay for our games? And where will that kind of breaking point come from? And um, even just looking at it from the inflationary standpoint, like I was talking about before, you can make it make sense in that way, but like the buying power of your dollar is so vastly different compared to when
Mhm.
games were 50 to where they are now. Like that dollar went way further than it does right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
so like that $50 isn't as big of a deal in terms of your wallet as me going to buy the next $70 or $80 game. Like it's not like can I really swing it this time? Do I need to save up half this paycheck to then get a next paycheck or whatever? Like it becomes more complex in terms of like the individual.
Just realized I was
Yeah.
muted. I don't know how long I've been muted.
I don't know either. I was looking off in the distance.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I think it was the only just as you were talking. But I was just being like,
Yeah. Well, and then another thing, this is, I mean, just speaking to the audience in the room, me, you, and Hawks. I mean, back when games were, $50, it wasn't just our dollar went further. Our lives were dramatically different.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. So now it's like we have to do way more complex, we have to weigh more things instead of just being like, well, this is what I'm doing on my summer break from 7th grade,
Right. No,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just like, shit, I gotta register my car now? Fuck me, I guess I'm not getting that game.
Yeah.
we have a lot more shit. But what I want to
Yeah.
do here, okay, I'm gonna put up the vibe change sign. All right, it's gonna be a new feature for Storymoders podcast going forward. Whenever SnowBikeMike Goes Big goes up, it's a vibe change. Okay.
Christ.
We've been talking a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of bad parts about the Switch 2 and kind of everything.
Oh,
I want to talk about the fucking video games and just what looks awesome and what you're excited for, and just kind of run through what was announced at this presentation. Okay. So the
Sounds
Snowbike Mike vibe change
hell yeah.
Yeah.
going
I'm all
forward. I don't know if this is going to happen after this episode because I might forget, but I want to try to remember. So if we're getting weird vibes, we got to change it. Snowbike Mike vibe change. Okay.
All right. Yeah, man. No, I mean,
SBMVC.
yeah.
So
No, I mean, it's like stuff that I'm excited for. I mean, yeah, not Bloodborne was pretty fucking awesome, even though it's PvPvE.
we've got a GameSpot. We've got a GameSpot thing here. We'll just run through these kind of as they were announced. So Mario Kart World was the first one, which we knew about, but we just didn't know what the name was. And kind of there were a lot of like rumors and kind of thoughts, and a lot of them seemed to come out pretty accurate. Kind of more of an open world type vibe, stuff like that. And it is the killer app, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon Mario Edition. Sign me the fuck up, baby.
Fuck yeah. Forza Horizon is one of the best driving games I've ever played, and it's super goddamn fun. As a person who's not a car guy, well, I mean, I'm a super car guy. I drive a Kia, but as a not a car guy, Forza Horizon is just so it's addicting, and it's just a fun time, and that seems like what this. And I don't think it's going to be the same exact type of thing where you're just driving through the world and finding races, but
no, like there's more you can do, and like as a car guy, man, I don't always want to hop onto like Assetto Corsa and have to like change 1,000 different goddamn settings so I can have a good time in a car.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to go fire up my Lego Wacky Racer
Yeah.
and go do dumb things with my friends.
Yep.
And that's what Forza Horizon was perfect for. And
Mhm.
honestly, I think Mario Kart World's going to be that same vibe, but even I think a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is spelled like a banana with a Z.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I
Like a
thought
Donkey
this
Kong
was,
game.
like, because I've never been like much of a Donkey Kong fan. Not saying like they're bad, just never Donkey Kong's really like interests me in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
But like this, like the first one where I was like, man, I really want to play this game. This actually looks pretty
Yeah,
cool.
this just looks. It looks like this is maybe even more than Mario Kart World. This is the hey, look what this console can do.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially
'cause-
like destructible like environment stuff you can do. Like
Mhm.
that was
looks
crazy.
so
I was
good.
like in a Nintendo game.
yeah. If Mario Kart World is their way to show off how online works on the Switch 2, then Donkey Kong Bonanza is showing off kind of more of just what the console can do, kind of power wise.
Yeah,
Right.
like this is the real like this is the test.
Yeah. In this one here, Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Jamboree TV. It's the Switch 2 version of Super Mario Party Jamboree with some extra fucking weird camera.
Things.
So Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I had one thing I wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
I know we were supposed to be doing a vibe change, but man, this just makes me think
This is just
this
weird.
is the PS eye toy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the-
2025.
Screams connect at me.
This is the Connect. You know.
Yeah.
I was looking at this picture and I'm like, oh,
PlayStation.
fuck.
You're just like, why? You know?
PlayStation Connect brought to you by the Nintendo Eye.
Yeah. So it's Breath of the Wild Nintendo 2 Switch Edition. Updated version features enhanced resolution and frame rate as well as HDR support. Will it make the game fun? Probably not. Tears of the
Will
Kingdom.
my stuff last more than 2 seconds?
No.
God damn it.
Tears of the Kingdom also with its Switch 2 Edition. Same updates as the predecessor. They will both use the Zelda Notes feature, which I think is an app,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was also announced. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's whatever. I fuck Zelda games, whatever. But if you give me like an app that goes with the game that I can use while playing the game, I fucking love that. I love kind of being able to expand the world of the game that I'm playing outside of just the game. And I remember when Fallout 4 came out and it had the Pip-Boy app that you could connect to, and then if you're on like the Wi-Fi and everything, like you would be able to use your Pip-Boy on the app and you're like playing the game and it's like, oh, I want to switch my controller. And obviously, it's probably much easier to just do it in the game, but you have the app open, you're like, oh cool, boom, 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 here's my new weapon, blah blah blah, stuff like that. What I just think it opens up a whole new world of possibilities when you can kind of expand it outside of the video game. And even though the Zelda Notes app, not even coming from somebody who doesn't like Zelda, it seems weird. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, it makes me think of like almost it's like taking like the old like official strategy guides of old and putting it
Oh,
into an
man.
app.
You'll never replace Brady Games, Nintendo.
Never, no. Kirby and the Forgotten Land with Star-Crossed Worlds, so it
Kirby.
seems it actually is coming in with like new DLC, which is very nice.
Hell yeah.
New chapter called it. Blah blah blah. I don't know if it doesn't. I don't think it said anything about like updated visuals or gameplay, but you've got to assume. That
I'm
these
gonna
Nintendo
give them the
Switch
benefit of the
editions-
doubt and say that it's gonna run better.
Yeah.
This was the big one, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is a cross-gen release, which I'm not too surprised, but it seems like it is actually going to be much better. So on the Switch 2, including 120 FPS performance mode when it's docked.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It says it's coming out in 2025. It also has, as we pointed out, the mouse control and everything on the Switch 2. So it does seem like the Switch 2 is the version that
have.
it's like, hey, you're gonna want to play this on the Switch too.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting too, because they're painting this the way that the case is for the Switch 2. It says Switch 2 edition.
Yeah.
That it feels more like they're marketing it as this was a Switch gun game that we're porting over to the Switch 2, which I find very interesting. Like, I think it's a weird marketing thing of like, because they like when Breath of the Wild came out, obviously it was for the Switch, but like it didn't. You knew it was coming out on both.
Edition.
It was like,
it was just
it was.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming out on both at the same time, and that was just what it was. This just feels like they're marketing it as more like this is the Switch 1 game, but we're bringing.
I think that maybe goes into what we mentioned earlier, where the Wii U and the Wii were just so different, and the Wii U and the Switch were so different. Where now it is the Switch and the Switch 2. So if you can't take the same cartridge and put it in one or the other, you have to be like, no, this is the Switch 2 version instead of here's the disc of Wii U compared to the cart for the Switch. No, it's here's the cart, here's the cart. This one's red though. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just thinking about in terms of,
but no, it is weird. It is weird. Instead of it being like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond or something, like it is the Switch 2 version, or instead of the Nintendo Switch version. I don't know, but
yeah, it was just odd because like that's how they title Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild. So I was like,
yeah. So I feel like the reason they did that is because this game was announced so long ago.
Yeah.
For the Switch.
Yeah.
You know, and even though it hasn't come out until now, like this is a game that we've known about for years.
Yeah.
So you have to assume that they did a lot of the development on the Switch 1, but because it's an internal studio, they can just kind of be like, oh yeah, you know,
make it run on the Switch 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon Legends ZA, which we saw a lot more information on, that makes me even more excited. I was already excited for this game because I loved Legends Arceus. But updated visuals, resolution, frame rate. More than likely, I think a lot of these upgraded versions are just going to be it runs better, which isn't a bad thing at all. Especially when it comes to the Pokemon games. You know, Kirby Air Riders was announced.
Hell yeah!
Oh god, yeah, Air Riders from Masahiro Sakurai. Yeah. So instead of doing a Smash Bros. Game, we're getting Kirby Air Riders, which a lot of people were excited about. I obviously never played Is it Air Ride? Kirby Air Ride?
I think it's still Air Riders.
Well, no, like the original one, because this is a sequel to a 20-year-old Kirby game. I thought it was.
Everybody still was calling it like Air Riders, like a new Air Riders.
Yeah.
But I just say good for him. I know he's been wanting to move away from Smash Bros. So like, good for him. Like,
but I'm wondering if this is Nintendo being like, yeah, go ahead and do your little fucking project. Racing game. Yeah, do that, and then
you get back in there.
We got Norman Reedus in there. All right, we put Death Stranding in the new Super Smash.
It's just a door that says Smash Brothers. It's just like, you get back in there right now.
Oh, it's just that meme, the dude reaching for like Kirby game.
Yeah.
And like Smash Brothers pulling him back.
It is because I didn't know that Air Ride or the original one was like his kind of baby. But now it does make sense now that Kirby is like the hero of Smash Brothers Ultimate. When you play the story mode, yeah.
Kirby was always the hero in every Smash Brothers game.
You're right. Drag and Drive. Okay, that Drag and Drive is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This it sure is.
This seems like it's going to be a game where this will obviously be the thing that shows off what the mouse controls can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's I think that is the point of this game, is to be like, look, this is what the mouse control, and because they've got two different ones, so when you're controlling, you know, the two sides of the wheelchair, and you kind of have to go back and forth if you want to turn. Like, yeah, that's what this is going to do. Yeah. If the mouse support works, I think this could be kind of an underrated gem for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be like a big, you know, sports Rocket League type thing that takes off, you know.
No.
But if this shows off what those mouse controls can do, I think it's going to be it's going to be it seems like it's going to be a really fun game at the very least.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Or it's going to expose that the mouse stuff just doesn't work, or doesn't work as well as you want it to.
The mouse is indeed a gimmick.
The one thing I do want about this game that I think is really cool is like the wheelchair representation in there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that is super cool. Oh god,
it's not like oh, you can beat. No, like that's the point of the game, which I think is great. It's a great way for them to show off the mouse controls and to show off accessibility in games.
Mm-hmm.
Just a cool thing I saw.
Accessibility in life. Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then again, we'll see if it actually has accessibility features, which would be super ironic if it didn't.
Oh yeah, 100%.
God.
Nintendo
okay,
Switch
I know. You said vibe change, but sorry, this is fucking stupid.
Wait, hold on. Other vibe change.
Vibe check.
Vibe check. This is dumb that you have to pay for this.
This is so dumb.
Apparently, it's only $10, but still.
But like after
$10
on the
too
PS5,
much.
like just put it on the console.
Yeah.
And if they came out and they were because you were watching this and you're like, oh, that's a cool tech demo. That's nice. If they're like, yeah, it's on every Switch too. I'm gonna play the fuck out of that probably for 20 minutes and then be good.
They were like, you can go to the store and purchase this if you're interested. And I was like, excuse me?
I'm not.
So one thing that I noticed, and if you go back and watch this thing, it's very obvious. When they're talking about this, they're like, oh, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, blah, blah, blah. This will be a paid experience, and they mention this will be a paid experience coming on the release date. Because they knew that everybody watching it was going to be like, oh, this is Astrobot, or, Astrobot's Playroom, and it's on everyone. No, it's not. Nope. No.
So dumb. Like,
yeah.
This is so bad.
So who? Okay. Anybody else about Nintendo Switch? So $10. Is that $10 still too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nintendo, if you're watching this, before he flips that around, put on the fucking console. You can still change it.
Yeah.
See, this shit is why I'm saying Wii U. All right. This dumb fuckery.
Okay. All right.
All right.
3,
we go back now.
2, 1. GameCube Classics!
Hell yeah.
Yeah!
Fuck yes, GameCube Classics.
I fucking love Soul Calibur too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I love the shit out of Soul Calibur too. I've played I think all 3 versions of that game, and it's just this one I do agree is the best version just because it has a Link in it. Like that's just cool as shit to have Link in it. But it's such a good fighting game. Was I ever good at it? No, but I had a blast.
No, Soul Calibur 2 is one of my all-time favorite fighting games, and I think I was a PS2 kid, so I had I had Hayachi. But still, I thought it's really cool what they did with like the 3 different characters, and you have to. Oh no! If you're on the GameCube, you get your own character. If you're on Xbox, you get your own character. That was a really cool thing.
Xbox was Spawn, wasn't it?
Yeah, Xbox was Spawn. Yep. PlayStation was Hayachi, and then GameCube was Link, which even me, like I can be like, no, that's probably the coolest one because that's not a character that you're going to expect in this type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we also said Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. There were a bunch of games that were shown, but I think they said at launch it's just Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX. So, and specifically when it comes to Wind Waker, Dex, I don't know if you watched Kind of Funny Games Daily today, April 8th.
I did not.
Okay, so, and I don't know if they mentioned it in some of the other Switch 2 coverage that they had, because Tim Geddes, Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny, they were at the Switch 2 event on the on the reveal date, and then they have a whole bunch of kind of just different clips and like different just videos of behind the scenes. They're like 20 minutes each and just going over different games, and it's like, this is us talking about this is this and this. A lot of great content. Go ahead and watch it. But today on Kind of Funny Games Daily, Tim mentioned speaking to somebody from Nintendo, I believe. I don't remember the name or anything, but and asked, hey, does you guys putting the Wind Waker on you guys putting Wind Waker on Nintendo Switch Online, the GameCube stuff, does that mean that we're not getting the rumored remake or anything? And the rep from Nintendo said, no, that's not the case. Like we're not going to say that anything is being made, but just because this is going on Nintendo Switch Online does not make it, we're not just being like, cool, we're done. Cool.
Okay.
So Wind Waker for you fucking Zelda nerds out there, Dex, you nerd, I love you.
I'm such a casual fan of this series.
You have a fucking Zelda Switch.
Well, because I wanted it OLED and it was in stock. Why would I not get it?
Touche. But yeah, for you Zelda nerds, so Wind Waker being on Switch Online does not mean that this whole rumored remake or remaster is done for, according to Nintendo. So
that's really nice to hear because, like, for me, what I was gonna bring up before you said that, it's like I was gonna be like, it's such a head scratcher. Like, why are we putting this on here when literally there's the Wii U HD that like people really like, that really had some good quality of life updates, especially in the final act of the game. Why is that not coming over? Like, you ported over like every other Wii U game. Like, why is this not here?
Yeah.
But that's good to know. It's good to know. It feels, I don't know if this is their intent, but it feels more like game preservation-y. Like, it's nice to have the OG version there.
And not in
but
not a fucking Microsoft using AI for game preservation, you dumb cunts. Fuck you.
But it's nice to hear that that's not off the table. That we could still get it. It's not just, hey, we got you the OG. Fucking suck it up.
And it could very well just be them being like, we can double dip. We can put the OG on Nintendo Switch Online, get people to be like, oh yeah, Wind Waker was cool. And then 2026 release, HD, 2D, HD bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they call it.
Something.
Yeah. Let's see here. Duskbloods. Not Bloodborne. Mike.
Not Bloodborne.
God. This character specifically just gives, when he moves, like his cloak thing on the back moves like feathers in Bloodborne. That's why I was like, what's this Bloodborne looking ass game?
Yeah. Switch to 8-player PvP VE. Every word and letter in that phrase makes it worse for me.
It's just everything you hate.
It's just like, I gotta play with people. Oh, PvE.
Like if it was like more Night Rainy in terms of concept, I would have been far more excited. But once they added the extra P, I was like,
yeah.
But
yeah, Switch 2 exclusive. Mike, you love Armored Core, but are you a Dark Souls?
I am not a Souls guy.
Okay.
I have tried to get into them.
Yeah.
It's just something my brain cannot wrap around them.
Yeah.
have you tried Bloodborne?
What?
Have you tried Bloodborne?
Yes.
You tried Elden Ring.
Because
I've not tried Elden Ring. No, it's one of those like God damn it, I've tried. Trust me. Like,
yeah. I was just asking because Bloodborne was because I kind of touched on Demon Souls on the PS3, but didn't really like get much into it. But then when I tried Bloodborne, I was like, this is hard as shit, but man, is this world fucking good shit.
Oh yeah, no, it was one of those like I really wanted to get into it, but I just, again, my brain just couldn't fucking handle it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then just me for years, like, when's another Armored Core coming out? The good From Software game. Here I am.
Okay.
We are.
So, who has thoughts on Hades 2?
I think it's cool it's coming to console finally in some form.
Apparently, it's a Switch console exclusive.
Okay.
Or Switch 2.
I think it'll eventually at some point.
Yeah.
Come
I mean,
to
it will. Yeah.
PlayStation X at some point. I don't know when that is, but some point. But I think it's cool that because Hades was originally on the Switch.
Yeah.
That they're kind of continuing that with.
You two talk about Hades 2. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Vamp.
Hey,
Vamp.
we'll talk about Hades. Stretch.
But I already have Hades 2 on Steam. I got when it first entered early access. Like, it's awesome. It's great. It's more awesome Hades.
Yeah, it's a great game. Definitely feels like it's most at home on the Switch 2. So good for it. I'm glad it's coming home, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this definitely feels like the perfect commute to work game.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be the full release version.
Okay.
Coming because they're supposed to go to full release this year. So
nice. Well,
Yeah,
that'll
they're
be perfect.
Yeah. So I think it's supposed to coincide with that in some form.
Yeah. It would be weird to be like, yeah, the only way to get the full version is on Switch 2. Sorry,
I'd be like,
PC players.
excuse you. I've been supporting you since you first opened this. I bought it day one.
You on the next stream, just drunk and angry. Just
You
swaying
know
a little
what?
bit. Just swaying.
Oh man. But one thing this has over Haze 1 is that they have Ben Starr in the game, and that's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. Ben Starr is great. He's probably my favorite video game actor out there. He's been able to make me feel emotional towards his performances, and meeting him in person twice. He's such a cool person. Like
Nice.
he's there just hanging out with
He's
people.
so fucking
he'll
hot.
talk to you.
Jesus Christ.
Like he'll talk to you. He'll just be chill with you. Like it's nothing there where you would feel like, oh man, this guy is like pretentious, or like I couldn't walk up and talk to him. He's more than willing to be like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Hell yeah. That's rad.
He offered to punch Robert here in the face. Was it in the arm?
No. So, and I've told this story before, but I love telling it. I just told it on the Kind of Funny happy hour the other week.
Oh, nice.
When we were at the Game Awards last year, and we saw Ben Starr, and he was with a friend of his whose name I don't remember because, and I'm going to intend this pun. I was starstruck.
It was Alexa. I'm trying to remember her last name. Ray
Korea
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's her, and Janet was also with us.
Yeah, we were talking to Janet Garcia as well. Pen to Pixels MinMax. She's awesome, and I like to give her shit because she's a Galaxy fan, and RSL just, beat them. And I took a screenshot of the final score, and I was like, "Hey, what does this say?" And she just responded with like a gif from The Office of the dude like writing names in a book, and she's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." But no, he was there, and I kind of, we were talking to Janet, and then Janet was like, hey, talking to her, and I said, "Hey, do you think he would hit me if I asked him for a picture?"
That's right.
And then she said, "Do you want him to hit you?" And I was like, "I'm not sure."
She kind of got into it because, like, he'll hit you.
Yeah, she's like, "He'll hit you if you want to." And I was like, "I'm not sure," but she's like, "He'll also take a picture with you." But yeah,
he'll beat you.
Then he came back, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Robert. I'm kind of funny, but blah blah blah. Can we get a picture?" And like, we're gonna get a picture. And she said, "Hey, didn't you want to ask if he'll hit you?"
I think he turned to you. He's like, "You want me to hit you?"
He's like, "You want me to hit you?" And I looked at him dead in the eyes, and I was like, "I don't know if that will awaken something in me right now, and I don't have time for that. So let's just get a picture."
God, if somebody asked me to hit them in a picture or some scenario like that happened, be like, "Didn't you want to ask him if he could hit you?" I'd just be there, just cracking my knuckles, be like, "Oh, let's do this."
But that.
I'm going to hurt you.
Like, totally off topic from like the Switch stuff, but like that's one of my favorite things about going to those events, because it's like Ben Starr literally just kind of came into our fucking circle.
Yeah.
To come and just talk. Like,
man,
who fucking does that?
As we were talking to, this is, I don't even know her name, so I can't say it. No, I do know her name. As we're talking to Ben Starr, you just look over by the wall, and fucking Ella Purnell,
oh yeah,
the star of Fallout, is just standing there, like with her, with her security.
I think she was getting a drink too. It was like she was kind of over there just getting a drink.
Ella, can you get me a Schlitz?
I love you on Yellow Jackets.
God, you need to take my ill-informed Midwestern ass to one of these damn things, because somebody you all know that like you love and all that stuff's gonna come into the circle and be like, "Fuck is this?
Who the fuck is this? Hi, my name's Troy Baker. Fucking who?
And are you bringing me another beer?"
Indiana Jones.
We both got names.
That's Harrison Ford.
Cool. Harrison Ford was at the Game Awards this last year.
Yeah, he came on stage
with Troy Baker.
But yeah, I saw that.
And Todd Howard.
Todd Howard,
yeah,
3 feet tall, and I have a picture with him. Okay.
Todd Howard, able to fit in an overhead bin.
We got a few more games here. Well, really quick, when it comes to Hades 2, so there's people that are online that are fucking stupid. When they say that Hades 2 is a console exclusive for the Switch and the Switch 2, that has nothing to do with the PC release.
Yeah, no, it is console exclusive.
It's Steam. You can get early access right now, and I think at least if you buy the early access game on Steam, then when the full thing is released, you just get the rest of it. You're essentially paying up front now for a large demo. But when the full release comes out, it's still on Steam and PC and everything. Switch 2 Switch is the home console exclusive release.
Yeah. Well, because every update they've done has come to the PC just for free. Every single major update, whether it's because I remember when I first started playing, certain characters you go talk to was obviously the concept art of them.
Yeah.
Just kind of put as a placeholder until they do the official how Nemesis here looks in game. Before, there's other characters you could tell were just kind of the sketch versions. But now those are updated. They've added whole new sections, Ben Starr's characters in there now, and all this other stuff. So there's no way that it would be, I think, a huge PR nightmare to be
oh yeah, 100%.
Those who got early access, the full version's out, but give us another $30.
Yeah, no, I saw people in the there were a couple people in the Kind of Funny Games daily chat today be oh, so I don't get the rest of it on PC even though I bought early access. Fucking no, that's
no, I don't think
that's not no. But I think
this should just
I don't think this stays on Switch 2 console wise.
Oh hell no.
Exclusively for a long time at least.
No,
I think this is just coinciding when they go to 1.0 later this year. From what I hear, is what's happening. So I think once it goes 1.0, whether that's probably just, they might just line up with the Switch release, and then we all have it.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be a big one, and this will be a make or break thing, at least for some people, for the Switch 2. Madden NFL and EA Sports FC are coming back to the Switch 2. They both had very rocky pass on the Switch. Mentioned it multiple times on this show. They stopped putting the FIFA games out on Switch because they were legitimately the same game every year, to the point where IGN's reviews were copy pasted every year. So if they are going to, if they're going to say, hey, no, it's going to be the same version you're getting on the other consoles.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
That's huge. But if you're getting the Legacy edition of these games, this is a huge fucking waste of goddamn time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, stuff like that, or whether you look at Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch or something like that, is why I've for me, I always touted Nintendo doesn't need to be a PS5. It just needs to have a system that can completely run bigger
it also
games.
Doesn't need to have all of the games.
No.
The Switch is the two big pillars of Switch software are Nintendo games, first off, and indies. It's an indie machine.
Yeah.
It doesn't need FIFA for it to be a console for people. If you're playing if you're playing FIFA every year, which there are, my brother, he buys a console, he buys a new console, and the only things he plays on are the new sports games every year. Because he wants to be on the latest, he wants the best version of NBA 2K and of Madden and now, of college football, stuff like that. There aren't people doing that for the Switch. Even before all this stuff, you weren't being this is my primary way to play FIFA or to play Madden.
Yeah.
No, it's because there wasn't a lot of people that do that, like my brother, are in it for the online component as well, the ultimate teams and whatever the fuck it's called, Madden or FIFA. They might both be ultimate teams. I don't know. And the Nintendo consoles just didn't have that capability to do that. So if they're able to bring that whole thing over to the Switch 2, I don't think it's going to change minds. I don't think it's going to make people come over to the Switch to play these games. But it's going to sell copies for people who have a Switch 2 for their kids, but they want Madden,
Yeah, my thing was more Nintendo's choosing to delve into third-party support that I don't think developers nor the gamers should have to. Developers shouldn't have to strip their games to be something unrecognizable from other versions.
Yeah.
And people on this console get a far less quality and fun experience compared to other versions. So that's always, I'm like, I don't need it to be a PS5, I just need to be able to run it competently. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, this is not going to like convince somebody. Well, if somebody's like cross shopping like PS5, an Xbox fridge, or whatever, and a Switch 2, you know.
Right there. It's right there.
You get the Xbox fridge?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Well, damn it. I don't have one. I feel
Never
left
here.
out.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
Anyway.
I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah, don't use an actual fridge. It sucks.
No, it's
Oh, no,
terrible.
God, no. No.
It
But I
leaks.
would like to have a conversation piece. You know. No, I think this opens it up more to like those crazy like Madden power users, like those dudes who are buying like pre-ordering like the crazy Ultimate Edition, you know, blowing all sorts of money on like player packs and whatever to like, you know, Ultimate Team stuff. Like there's going to be a guy who's just like, yeah, man, I ride the train to work.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there just like mainlining fucking DraftKings or some shit.
Yeah, no, if they can get the full functionality of Madden and like FIFA, and specifically those Ultimate Team things, and you can have that on the portable version of the Switch.
Take it with you. That's such a huge thing.
That's a selling point in itself.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
like,
know? Yeah, that's... If they can do that, you might actually get people, maybe not to convert, because there's now at the point of the console's life cycles, people already have shit. But you might actually sell a few consoles, being like people that want to do the Ultimate Team, if they're able to kind of move things over, and just be like, yeah, you can have it on the Switch, and you put it on the TV, and it's got 4K, and it doesn't look as great as the PS5 Pro does, but you can then pop that out of the dock. You've got 1080p, 120 hertz, and you can do all of your stuff on the go, as long as you have an internet connection, which you got free Wi-Fi everywhere. You can have your phone be a thing and connect to it on the train, whatever. You can just do that all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is a great thing for those Madden and like FIFA or EA Sports FC.
Yeah. Once again,
FIFA.
If it's got full.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the big.
That's the big thing,
it's got to have the full feature set. It can't be.
Like, that's the
hey, this is Madden 2026, but like
that is
you can play football. That's it.
Yeah, like that is such a
team,
big
then there's
if.
no fucking point in selling it on there.
It's such a big if and such a big ask too. It's just like, well,
and then
you can play football.
Yeah, on the same kind of wavelength here, NBA 2K and WWE 2K are both coming to the Switch too. Once again, they both have big online communities. Well, NBA 2K has a big online community. WWE 2K on the series consoles and the PS5 has now the Island, which is... So Hyrule Warriors.
I legit keep calling it PlayStation Home because that's what it makes me think of every time I see them. Like they just brought back PlayStation Home.
It is. It's just dumb. I love it, but I'm not gonna play it. I love the idea that they're like, we're just gonna have this like weird ass kayfabe story thing where you're there and you're trying to get a contract from Roman Reigns and you have to do match. It's just weird, and I love weird. Don't get me wrong, but.
Yeah, no, this is like an annoying kind of weird.
It is. It also doesn't work. That's one of the big things.
Well, okay, that's
like PlayStation Home.
That seems like a bigger problem than it just being weird.
Yeah. But actually, what's... Yeah, so, I mean, talking about WWE 2K, next week, Story Mania 2. So this is probably super late to kind of announce this, but... We're going to be making some, like a wrestling card out of big video game boss fights. So if you are a gamer and a wrestling fan, think of a giant boss fight that you love from video games, and then compare it to just any wrestling. It doesn't have to be a Mania. It doesn't have to be a WWE match at all, but a wrestling match. And if you want to record a little video for us next week for the episode, we'd love to have you on here and talk about it. So that is next week, Story Mania 2. Hit me up by Monday night, and we can have you on here. So, yeah. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This is the Muso game, but you actually play as Zelda, it looks like, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Look cool.
Yeah, I know people liked Age of Calamity outside of like the performance stuff, because I know it doesn't always run the best, but as far as I could tell, people generally had positive things to say about the first Muso games. And so I think having this and then the story, I feel like people are going to be more invested in the story of this than the one for Age of Calamity, because Zelda's kind of part is so integral to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That I think people will be more invested in the story aspect, and if they can just make it run better, and it'd be fun. I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. It says, so it seems like it's a prequel, like a direct prequel to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird, because it's like it kind of is prequel, but like it's also like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like she out at the president of the game gets sent back there, so it's technically a prequel, but like it's also part of the actual story. Like
it is and it isn't.
It is and it isn't.
Like so many of the goddamn Neon Genesis movies. Is this canon? Who knows? Yeah. Right, you guys
go ahead.
Talk about this. I gotta go pee.
Okay, I think we're gonna quick do a few of these at least, because a lot of them are just ports.
All right, whatever.
Split Fiction coming out, and it looks like on the release date. So it's going to be a game that you can get on release. When? Okay, they just said 2025, and then the NBA, WWE, FIFA, all that stuff. There's no release date. It just says it's coming to the Switch too. Split Fiction. Have you and Drea done Split Fiction? Are you guys done with it?
Yeah, we beat it.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
That was awesome. Like, I think like comparatively, like It Takes Two, I think I prefer the story of It Takes Two more. I feel like it hit me a little bit more emotionally, but I think there's a lot to love in Split Fiction story. Like, it's not to say like it's bad or anything. It's just I think there's a lot of growth and cool dynamics between Mio and Zoe. That's just different. It's a different kind of emotional impact, stuff like that. It's not so much that it's worse, it's just different. But I think I prefer the gameplay and what you get to do. I feel like the co-op experience is a little bit fully more realized here than It Takes Two.
Than It Takes
Two.
I
feel like
I feel like a lot of reviews too. A lot of reviews said the gameplay and the side story specifically. A lot of people point out the side stories of Split Fiction are superior, but the storyline and like that part of it and the actual storytelling of It Takes Two is superior. And you got to think, if Hazelight can kind of marry those two in their next game, which it's not going to be for years, but if they can if they can knock out the storytelling and the gameplay, you're looking at another fucking Game of the Year contender.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised that this was in the Game of the Year talks. Like, I think it's amazing. Like,
100%.
Like, I would be surprised the Game Awards come around and this is in the running. Like,
I have a question for the two of you. Remind me when we're wrapping up here tonight. I have a question for the two of you, specifically when it comes to the Game Awards and the Game of the Year. Just to think, you don't have to answer it today, but just to kind of think about it. And we'll, everybody else out there listening, watching, let us know in the comments as well. At the end, I'll have a question for you. Now,
fun fact before we move on from this, actually, fun fact: you don't need to buy 2 copies of this game. You can just buy one, and then you can play with somebody else who doesn't have it, and you can have a cool co-op experience.
You have to imagine that that's going to be the same thing on the Switch too. Yeah,
it has to be.
Obviously, if you have one copy, you can do the split screen co-op, couch co-op. But at least on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox right now, let's say I bought the game on Xbox, and Dex didn't have it, but we wanted to play it together. There is, I don't know the exact name, but it's like Split Fiction Partner Pass or Co-op Pass. Essentially a game, a program you can install on your Xbox where I paid for the game, and you can't play that alone, but if I invite you in and you have this pass, you can go in there and we can play it co-op. together, which is super nice. So
yeah, it's super.
Yeah.
It's a super consumer friendly thing, and a great way to. I think that they really take the co-op aspect seriously and how they
Yeah.
want people to, even if like not everybody can get 2 copies, they want everybody to experience the co-op
the fact
aspect.
that it has to be played co-op.
Mhm.
Like and they it's great that they're like no you have to play this co-op, so we're going to make it so you can play it co-op as long as you have that co-op partner either at home or online.
Yeah.
So instead of being like it's co-op only but you have to buy 2 copies, you're going to cut out so many people wanting to try to play this game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Split Fiction. And my only question about it is how hard do you think it was for Joseph Ferris recording this video for the Switch 2 reveal to not swear? Because
I'm sure
how many takes do you think he did?
I bet he was just like, he would then be like, this is gonna be fucking awesome. He's like, fuck.
It's on the fucking Switch 2, yeah!
They're like, you can't cuss. He's like, fuck.
That feels like something where they're just like, we got enough here. We can put it together. Thank you.
We got it, but it's just cuts.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2. Like, what's happening in between there?
They just do some really good fucking cuts and transitions to where it just looks seamless.
Let's see here. Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077 we mentioned, and this is a release date as well. So June 5th, Ultimate Edition, which includes the base game and Phantom Liberty. Which, once again, Phantom Liberty you couldn't play on the Xbox One or PS4. That was a PS5 series and PC exclusive. So if they're able to make this work for the Switch 2, that kind of gives you an idea of the power of this console.
I just had this thought, like, could you imagine that they put it on the Switch 2 and it's not able to run it? We just have a whole
Just
it's
another terrible.
over again.
We just run back the original launch. Oh my god.
God, that'd be so
Hook
bad.
it to my veins.
Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I don't know if this is correct.
It is. I don't know about the release date, but
Yeah.
it's correct.
No, it's coming out. Yeah, that was a mass like on the Kind of Funny thing the other week. Holy shit, Mike!
God, that was funny.
Mike, you're not in the cult as much as we are.
I'm aware there is a cult, and
Yes,
I just ask, is this the cult?
So
and you guys start to tell me something about, yep, this is it.
So the week before, and just a little backstory, the week before the big Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, Nintendo had another Direct where they were essentially just going over kind of the last games that were coming out for the original Switch. And then, so I think there was some like Metroid Prime 4 stuff, and then they showed it off again. At the same time, in the Kind of Funny universe, there's a whole thing between Greg Miller and Tim Geddes concerning a trivia game show and the amount of, they're called stars, so every time you win one of these episodes of the game show you get a star. Tim currently has 6, Greg has 3. Greg has a briefcase based on the Money in the Bank briefcase from WWE called Stars in the Bank instead of Money in the Bank, and he can cash that in at any time to essentially challenge Tim right then and there to a trivia contest, and then if he wins he gets 3 of those. It was a whole thing. But during this, so the day of that first Direct, the week before the big reveal, it was super early in the morning, so Kind of Funny's like, okay, we're not gonna do it live. We're not gonna watch it live. We're gonna stay off social media. We're gonna come in a few hours later, and then we'll watch it live after it's already aired. So we won't know what's on it, but we'll watch it and not know anything. So we're watching this thing, and I was watching it. I don't know if Dex was watching it at the same time. So, we're watching this thing with Kind of Funny, and I was off of social media, so I didn't know what was in this thing out either.
Yeah,
So
I already watched it with Jenny, so I had seen it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, when you get to it, I thought I missed it, and I was like, what the fuck?
So they're going over like this game, and then I think it even started off with, and take a look at this. So it was like a lead-in from the actual reveal from like the person from Nintendo being like, and take a look at this. Screen goes black, and then it comes up with the Square Enix logo, and it starts with the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer, and it shows like Aerith and Tim Geddes and it was Tim, Blessing, and I think Roger are like freaking out, being like, holy shit, this is coming to the Switch? And then instead of the music, you just hear a shitty version of It's So Hard to Say Goodbye by Boys to Men being sung by Greg Miller.
God.
And then slowly it fades in on the screen, a picture of Tim Geddes crying, and then to the side of it, it says, "Of course this isn't coming to the Switch, you fucking idiot." And it's just a whole bit, and then it goes into like a 5-minute fucking video.
Yep,
Greg Miller
in Tim's car.
That Greg Miller, he broke into Tim Geddes' car. He reads this 5-minute list of all the problems with the Switch. And then by the end of this video, Tim is freaking out, being like, "So is any of what we just saw real? Like any of these other reveals, are they real?" And it turns out that the night before they knew that they weren't doing it live. So Barrett Courtney from Kinda Funny had the idea of, hey, what if I download it, you record this thing, we edit it in the middle of it and try to make it seem as real as possible just to get him. And they did it overnight, like
Amazing.
Recorded this thing, the thing came out, he ripped it, he put in the whole like the little subscribe thing in the bottom corner of YouTube in the video.
Yeah.
And like for me, once again, I was like, "Oh shit, remake's coming out for the Switch." And then I heard him singing, and even then I was like, "Oh, it's just Greg Miller being silly." And then it was, "This isn't real. Like none of this is real." And it's like, holy shit.
God damn.
Yeah, I was there be like, did I just fucking miss this when I first watched it? Like, what the
Did I
fuck?
sleep? What the fuck? It was 5 a.m.
I think this is but like to this, I think it's a huge get for Switch.
It's a
because
huge get.
It's a big one.
Not
sure.
on Xbox. It's not on Xbox. So I want to know, like, I would love to know the context of their deal with the remake trilogy, because like it's supposedly, from what we understand, that timed exclusivity is done. So I don't know, is that the reason why we're seeing it here, or is Sony like, yeah, we could put it on Switch, like we're cool with that, like.
So it says here this includes Intergrade, which once again that was I believe a PS5 exclusive, that DLC.
Yeah.
Remake was on the PS4 and then it was ported over, but Intergrade was a PS5 exclusive. So the fact that also, with Phantom Liberty is on the Switch too, hopefully shows you how powerful the system is, or will expose flaws. But
the one thing you gotta check in this game is the doors. The doors look like shit. It's no good. It's no good.
I believe you. I haven't heard that this is actually a release day game, so maybe that's correct and I just missed it, or maybe it's not. But I kind of had the thought that once this was really announced for the Switch 2, then it's just a matter of time before they're like, oh yeah, also it's going to be on the Xbox. Or maybe Xbox is getting everything when it comes out, and they're waiting until the whole trilogy is out.
Yeah, maybe. The reason why I bring up doors is because when in the PS4 version, when you went to the this little hotel, motel kind of thing, the doors on there were the most low poly, muddied shit you've ever seen. But then on the PS5, like the thing that people wait to go look at first was those doors, and they actually looked okay.
The hotel, motel.
Amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Check those doors.
Holiday
Inn. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I love you. So, Street Fighter 6 ported. Once again, this might be a launch game. I'm just kind of going off of probably it is. But Street Fighter 6, great game. With the Years 1 and 2 collection, so it has the DLC characters in it, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Civ 7, which we kind of talked about earlier, will have the mouse support on Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Civ 7 is kind of a big one too, because those Civ games, they look simple, but they have
there's so much going on.
There's a lot of shit going under the hood. So if this can run it with this mouse functionality, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like this is goddamn.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy, which was a Switch game, but it was a very downgraded version. So if this is going to be more of the PS5 Xbox Series version, cool. I played this game last year when it was stupid cheap because fuck JK. But still, it was I was like, you know what, the world is still cool, and it looked like a fun game. It was a fun game, actually. I had a really good time with Hogwarts Legacy. So, one thing, there was supposed to be a big DLC and kind of upgrade for it this year. WB Games just canceled it because why would they want to support their biggest game in years?
Why the fuck would Warner Brothers Games do anything right?
God, Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, go fuck yourself.
Why would Warner Brothers do anything right when the wrong way is right there and so easy?
Silver lining, though, we're getting Acme versus Roadrunner, or Acme versus Coyote. So,
Thank God.
Yeah. Purchased out by Ketchup Entertainment, coming out in theaters next year. Dex,
Hell
I don't
yeah.
even know if you know what that means. Dex is
I do.
12 years old, by the way.
I'm a baby.
He's a baby. He's a baby.
These are my dad's.
Yeah.
Don't
Bravely
you put that
Default.
evil on me?
Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, which was a 3DS game of Bravely Default.
Oh.
Is that Bravely like the first Bravely Default?
I think it is the first one,
Okay.
if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly.
Okay.
Bravely Default's cool. I have
Yeah.
Bravely Default too. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Borderlands is coming out.
Yep.
I wonder if this is going to be. Did they say this is going to launch on the Switch 2 at the same time?
I think they said that. I think
Okay.
what's his fucking name? The main guy at fucking Gearbox.
Dickhead
The Magician.
McFuckface. Yeah, that piece of shit.
I think he said specifically that was coming out the same day.
Okay,
as
cool.
like everywhere else.
All right.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Cool.
Cool.
What? They get a SpongeBob thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sons
so
of bitches.
is that a Switch 2 exclusive?
I don't know, honestly.
I-
I just know
man,
that they
I
showed
hope
it in
not,
this trailer.
Because it looked like they were in one of the levels from, I think 3, and then went over a gap, and then they were in a SpongeBob world. So I'm not sure if that was going to be an exclusive or what. But hey, you know what? Cool. If it runs well, it runs well, and it's Tony Hawk once again. It's on the go. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Be cool.
The best thing.
We're going to be doing Mike, are we still down to do a live stream of this when it comes out at my house?
Yeah.
Come over. We're gonna do we'll do Pizza Hut. We'll do Mountain Dew and
Dew.
beer and just play Tony Hawk's Pro
Yeah.
Skater 3 and 4.
So down. So down.
Dex, obviously you're invited, but you'd have to come out to Utah. So
Fuck.
yeah. Elden Ring. This was a huge one. Really rumored, but I was still surprised that this is coming to the Switch too.
Yeah.
Even with Duskblood, like Elden Ring seems so massive for the Switch. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really like taken aback because it feels. I know it. Nintendo is like made us feel like they're really trying to push third party, then kind of falls off of it, but then kind of comes back. This is probably
Yeah.
like their biggest push forward of like, hey, third party is going to be on our console, and it actually looks the way it's supposed to and runs the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Because you like Tony Hawk, Madden, NFL, all that stuff is cool, but Elden Ring is like it's hard M rated.
Mhm.
It's a massive game. The Tarnished Edition apparently has the game and Shadows of the Erd Tree expansion,
Oh yeah.
which,
Jesus.
unless I'm mistaken, was another one that was only on the next gen consoles. I think Elden Ring you could play on the Xbox One and the PS4, but
Mhm.
Shadow of the
Yeah,
Erd Tree was only next gen.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God damn. And then another thing about like the Souls games and FromSoft, the little details, like how the different fabrics and everything move. Polygon put out a video about it and how in depth and fucking insane it honestly is compared to everything else. Like it is a good watch. I highly recommend it because it really goes into like this is a little detail that most people do not notice, but if you were to take it out, everybody would be like, what the fuck is wrong with the game?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of stuff coming out for the Switch 2 from third parties that you have to imagine if From Software is like, yeah, go ahead, put this in your sizzle reel. They believe and they think that this is going to work properly and that this does work properly.
Mm-hmm.
So these things being in this massive sizzle reel reveal trailer are good indications of what this console will be able to do.
Oh yeah.
Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which has new cutscenes, which is
Hell
that's
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something about the Yakuza games right now that I think people hate me for, but
I will.
Yakuza's becoming the Yakuza games are becoming, the old ones at least, are becoming the new Skyrim.
I won't argue with that.
Not wrong.
I can't argue with
Not
that.
wrong.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
I
So-
love that's going everywhere, but it's just like,
Yeah.
all right.
It's well, I the only difference that I would say, yeah, it's being fucking re-released on everything, but it seems like the reason that it's being re-released is because these newer games are being so popular. So they're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, you're really
Oh, sh-
liking Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Let's re-release 1, 2, and 3 remaster. Oh, you're really liking Infinite Wealth. Let's do this Yakuza 0. So it's
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. Where the
Oh,
reason
me
they're
too.
re-releasing it is
I think there's
yeah,
far
it's
more
cool.
legit.
Yeah.
I think there's more legitimacy in this, but it's just like it's kind of
Yeah.
becoming that.
Yeah, it's oh man. No. It is hilarious, but man, it's also I feel like somebody got a tweet that was just like, what do you mean I have to buy a fucking PS3 to play this game?
Yeah.
Re-release it.
But if this is the best way to play the Yakuza 0 game, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And next up, speaking of it, Skyrim. No.
Hey!
Fortnite,
Fork knife.
not surprised.
Okay.
I assume it's
I
going
mean,
to run very similar to the PS5 and Xbox versions.
Yeah. Enter the Gungeon 2. I never played the first one.
I didn't either, so
Cool.
I know people
Hey.
were kind of popping off for it. So
Yeah, cool.
Hey.
Cool. Hitman World of Assassination. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Launch day game as well. So includes every mission from the recent Hitman trilogy, along with multiple extra missions and escalations to explore. Cool.
Cool.
And they announced Project 007 was coming to the Switch too. Still haven't shown off anything about this fucking game. So I don't
yeah,
know
we've
if they're
we've
doing
we've
anything
known
with it.
we've known about this for a while.
Yeah, like
We have,
we
yeah,
know
but
it's
it's coming to the Switch too now, which is cool. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. Okay.
This was when like
Sure.
the streaming of
Yeah, the actual
direct start
the
getting
Nintendo
weird.
stream was fucking up. Not
Yeah,
even
so
like because I was watching it through kind of funny.
So I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual Nintendo stream fucked up during this one. It just froze.
Oh god.
Yeah. Demon X Machina, Titanic Scion. This looks like a mecha game that Mike might be super into.
Looked pretty cool.
Yep.
I'll if I had a Switch 2, I would definitely give it a shot, but
Yeah.
again, Lord knows what I'm getting one of those.
So yeah, looks
Yeah.
like
You
yeah,
know,
it
it
comes out
looked like
September
you had-
5th, so it's in so a few months after the console comes out, so it's not a launch day. Delta Runes Chapter 1 through 4. I never
Cool.
played
Undertale.
Thank you. I haven't played those. Is Deltarune just like a sequel? Because I know it's the
I
same
don't
letters.
I don't know the relationship between them, but I know a lot of people were like Deltarune, and like I've never played Undertale either. So it's like that's
Yeah.
a whole part of gaming that I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm glad people are excited, but for me I'm like
Yeah.
Konami Survival Kids. Okay.
Moving on.
So
Konami.
grounded, but not first person. Okay.
Where's my Castlevania, you bastards?
Star Wars
You sons of
Outlaws.
bitches.
Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Cool.
Stop putting out pachinko machines.
Yeah.
Yep. Star Wars Outlaws. I've played a bit of on the Xbox. Hasn't hooked me, but I think it may have been due to the timing when I was playing it, like after something really big and then before something really big, so I didn't really get
Oh, yeah.
myself fully into it.
Yeah.
But from what I played, like the gameplay itself was fun. It's going to be one that I'll probably go back to later on this year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Hollow Knight Silk Song coming out 2025 will win me.
I'm sorry.
Critically.
I'm sorry. This is where I'm trying
Sure
to
it
vibe
is.
like this. They put this in a fucking sizzle. They know how big this fucking game is, how much people are fucking clamoring for this damn game. They put in a fucking sizzle. They're not confident that this game is fucking coming out this year. They are not confident, and I'm not confident.
You see
I
the vibes?
I'm not gonna hold my breath because
You
it's
see
very
the
likely
vibes?
I would die of suffocation. So I'm sorry, Robert. Yeah, I think you're gonna be very disappointed. This shit is not coming out until at least next year.
Dex, acknowledge me.
If it comes out, I'll eat my words. I will
Good,
say I was
good.
wrong. I was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That's on me. But then putting against Israel makes me have zero fucking home.
All right. Professor Layton, A New World of Steam. Is this a new one? Yeah, it looks like a new one. Cool. So not a port or anything. Awesome. Rune Factory. I don't know what Rune Factory is.
I know, but the series, it's if I remember correctly, it's like kind of a mix between like a cozy game and an RPG kind of thing.
Okay.
Like that has like, if I remember correctly, it's like farming elements, kind of mining, but you're also fighting monsters. Also,
Yeah, I was
So
about
it's
to
kind
say, what part in the cozy game are you out here literally lighting shit on fire?
if I remember correctly, if I'm thinking of the right series, that's kind of like
Okay.
the shtick of it.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like it's a release date game, but it comes out on the Switch and PC on May 30th. So, okay. Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition. Nobunaga's Ambition is, if I'm not mistaken, there was a crossover with Pokemon years ago on the 3DS called Pokemon Conquest. I could be wrong. But,
Conquer feudal Japan
yep.
with your
mean,
Electabuzz.
I just kind of hung out with Nobunaga in AC Shadows.
Hell yeah.
What's your opinion of Nobunaga?
Well, I mean, I'm not dealing with him anymore. Let's just go there. Yeah. So,
You guys on a
All
break?
right.
yeah, really quick. Small tangent. Assassin's Creed Shadows, beautiful, fun. It's too big.
Genuine.
It's too big. You guys know I love open world games. I love doing everything in open world games. Assassin's Creed Shadows is too big. There's too much shit going on. Every time I meet a new character in the world, it has nothing to do with any storyline I've already done, and I go into the map, and then it like fucking moves, and it's like, oh, here's this whole new storyline branch. It's too big.
Man.
I'm gonna keep playing it, but
I put down
how-
Odyssey. Go ahead, Dex.
I was just gonna say, you know how much money they could have saved on the whole entire budget of that game if they just didn't make it that big.
yeah, it's
For real. And
okay.
yeah,
Sorry,
like
yeah,
in Odyssey, as soon as they're just like, hey, you got to get on a boat and go to another Greek island. I'm like, there's hundreds of these fucking Greek islands. No.
It's like for the next
Odyssey-
3 months.
Odyssey is a fucking child's game compared to what is in AC Shadows. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I put down Odyssey, so I'm going to respect Shadows, but I ain't playing it.
I'm 3.5 days into Shadows. I cannot tell you what is happening in the main story because I've just been doing side shit because that's, whatever. Anyway,
That's how you
Fun
do
game,
any
though.
good RPG.
yeah, fun game. Buy it. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
Okay.
A puzzle game. Speaking of puzzle games, we posted our first review of Spirit Swap. Lo-fi beats to match 3-2. It's on our YouTube channel now. Go ahead and watch it and give it a thumbs up. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I highly...
And subscribe.
And subscribe, yeah. But I highly recommend Spirit
And-
Swap. Great game. Super fun.
And click share and the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos go up.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell icon. And
Smash
we'll pin
that.
ya.
Smash that notification bell.
Smash that notification. Fast Fusion. I missed this one. What the fuck?
Couldn't tell you. I don't think that's all this one.
Gosh.
Launch game.
Ridge
Fast
Racer.
Fusion. High-speed racing game for a Switch console. So realistic.
It looks
kind
like
of looking F-Zero.
Wipeout.
And Wipeout.
Yeah.
Wipeout. That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah, this is Wipeout. If it's got the same, like, atmospheric jungle beats, then I'm there.
Shinan,
not-
the studio behind the Nintendo Switch launch racer Fast RMX. Never heard of that game.
I don't know.
We really need to do a segment on this where it's just like Switch game or something else.
Switch game or bullshit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Witchbrook.
Switch game or
Co-op
fan
Wow.
life sim RPG. I assume Drea is gonna fucking love this game.
Everybody is like Jenny.
Yeah.
Everybody we know who loves cozy games is so excited about this because
Yeah.
it comes from the same publisher as Stardew. And
Publisher, not developer, though.
yeah, publisher. But I know people are fucking. The cozy people are fucking going.
Yeah, cozy people.
They're
are
over here for this game.
looking really. And Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass day one.
Oh, that's awesome.
For this one. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
So, but once again, as we said, the Switch, the original Switch, is an indie powerhouse. Like, you love playing Switch games. You love playing indie games on the Switch because you can play them just, whatever. Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, a new Harvest Moon. It's the same series, but yeah, a new game in that whole series. Story of Seasons. So, actually, no, it is a remake of Harvest Moon, Grand Bazaar. Okay.
All right.
All right, then.
Yeah, it was through this direct I learned that because of some issue with the naming of Harvest Moon that got changed to Story Seasons. And I was like, oh,
interesting.
And this has the Nintendo fonts, which is fun to see.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to ask you guys real quick. Do you like or hate the Nintendo font? Because I feel like there's like a huge like unspoken about like debate of like whether it's good or not.
It's weird. I'm not gonna say I hate it or I like it. I just think it's kind of weird that these games coming out from all these different publishers and everything and developers are using the same font, and whether or not they have to, or they're just like, hey, this works.
They're sending them the font fucking file. They're like, put this in the fucking game right now.
All right, Shadow Labyrinth, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This is like that new Pac-Man game.
Yeah, Pac-Man roguelike.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I need this game to be. So I want every game to be good, but I need that game to be good for my fantasy critic.
But if Silksong comes out, you're fucked. It doesn't matter what else. Okay. All right. Blueprints just won me that fucking league. Okay. 2 Point Museum, which is, I believe, already out. It's either out or it's in early access, but I've seen people playing 2 Point Museum from the makers of 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus, I think, or University.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild Hearts S. Wild Hearts.
Wild Hearts.
Yep.
For a second,
Wild
I was like,
Hearts.
I was thinking Wild Arms. I'm like, wait, what?
This one's a huge Marvel Cosmic Invasion from the makers of Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. But now they've got the Marvel license.
Fun.
Fuck
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yes. And unlike Ultimate Alliance 3, this is not, locked to the Switch 2.
Yeah, thank God.
This game,
Okay.
No Sleep for Konami Date. From, apparently it's pronounced I, the Somnium Files, not AI.
Okay.
Yeah. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, which is, came out a couple years ago, or last year at least.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Fast hack and slash action, and then like some weird, not weird, but just, different gameplay. Got pretty good reviews, but it's coming to the Switch too.
Okay.
Yeah.
On release date.
Okay.
Goodnight Universe. Totally missed this one. You're a 6-month-old baby who's learning to use mysterious psychic abilities.
Oh, that couldn't go wrong.
Cool. Go ahead, Mike. Want to talk about the baby?
I'm just like, no, I'm good. Never really wanted to play a game from the perspective of a baby, but
yeah,
I'm glad it's out there for those who do.
I mean, you didn't love that part in Fallout 3?
Yeah, being Liam Neeson's son.
I love seeing the speedrunners who are able to just leave the vault as a baby and just play the whole thing as a baby.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, which is a remake or remaster of an older Atlas RPG, which I'd never heard of. But I've seen these characters, like these costumes and everything in like Persona 5 and Metaphor as just the DLC outfits that you can use. Did not realize they were from this game, so I'm excited to play this one, at least. Hopefully it's better than Shin Megami Tensei 5, which I could not enjoy, even though I beat it and played through the whole fucking thing. God, I forced myself. Reanimal, team behind Little Nightmares, Cool.
Mm.
Okay. Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer.
It's
Alright.
Ridge Racer.
Don't you guys remember Ridge Racer?
I love Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
$599 US.
Tamagotchi
Oh my gosh.
Plaza.
They're gaslighting us.
They are.
I literally said that. I was like, they're gaslighting an entire generation right
Yeah.
now.
You're like, that's not how
Yeah.
you say that. Tamagotchi Plaza and Tamagotchi Plaza, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Human Fall Flat 2. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Assassin's
don't put
Creed
rumored shit on here,
rumors.
GameSpot.
Who
Okay.
cares? Yeah, keep going. All right.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing they
If
announced
this thing could-
was
Every possible game that they could think of is rumored to come to this damn thing.
yeah, so this is GameSpot, so these are all just rumored
My-
things.
Yeah, my thing is just like Flight Simulator. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hi-Fi Rush would not be surprised. Master Chief Collection wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Rebirth, you have to think that if they're doing
Yeah,
remake, they're getting
eventually.
Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
Well, there we go.
And then I think they ended the show with a big thing on was it Donkey Kong or Metroid? I think they ended it on Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think it was Donkey
Bonanza,
Kong.
so which we already mentioned. So that is kind of the
Oh, I thought
not
it
even
was
just-
no, I thought it was the Tamagotchi days or Tamagotchi.
that was I think the week before.
Oh, was it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think I'm getting mixed up. My bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they did a fucking week back to back. But yeah, those are kind of the games that are going to be that are at least announced for the Switch 2. Quite a few things on launch day and in the launch window, which the launch window I believe is 3 months past release date. That's launch window games. So, are there games there? Like, are there enough games there for if you had the money and not just be like I'm going to spend whatever, but if you're like I have the option to buy a Switch 2, are there enough games in this launch window that make you think it's worth it for me to buy this in a couple games?
I think with Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, and Metroid, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, it's still a hard maybe, even, like, seeing this list and knowing GameCube games are coming to Switch Online.
Yeah.
It's still such a hard maybe.
Yep.
Because, like, I remember when I first got my PS4, as much as I loved the PS4, like, those early days of that console, when you're just kind of waiting for games, it's like, you feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
100%.
when you play everything that they kind of put out, and all of a sudden you're just kind of, when's the next thing? Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. So,
So,
I mean, Mario Kart World looks super fun, and Donkey Kong, for me at least, looks fun. I was never really a fan of Metroid Prime, but it could be cool. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is big. My buddy got it, so I'm gonna start hanging out with him a bit more. Vibes,
yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Yeah, at least until we get to the holiday season.
I would say if the third party games that have been announced run well at launch and everything, like that's a huge indicator of how this console is going to run and the power that you'll be able to kind of expect from it.
Oh yeah.
So, I think Nintendo has that hopefully in the bag, and hopefully that is kind of their ace in the hole of yeah, you're waiting on a new 3D Mario, you're waiting on a new Smash Brothers or whatever, but hey, you got all of Cyberpunk 2077 here on the go. You have all of Elden Ring on the go. You have Madden Ultimate Team on the go. You know, if they can kind of hitch their wagon to that, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we get out of here, I have a question for the two of you. And I think Dex might have more kind of background knowledge, at least on what's going on, than Mike does. But Blueprints is an indie game coming out on the 10th. So I believe actually the day this comes out is going on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. First-person puzzle game, one of the highest, if not right now, the highest rated game of the year on like Metacritic and OpenCritic. It's at a 92 or 93, depending on what you look at.
nice.
Okay. Blueprints, if you're looking it up right now, Mike. So Blue Space Prince, like the singer. But let's just say every game that has been announced coming out in 2025, every game, GTA 6, everything. Let's say every game that's announced for 2025 that we know of right now comes out this year. And it all comes out the way that you're expecting it to. So, Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out, it's great. Mario Kart World comes out, it's great. GTA 6 comes out, it's incredible. Say all of that happens. Do you think that at the Game Awards, there is going to be a Game of the Year nominee that we have not heard of yet? Like last year, Balatro came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's always that
if you think like everything that is supposed to come out this year comes out before, the cutoff date, do you think there's a Game of the Year nominee that we just haven't heard of, or that we've heard of but just don't expect? But no, specifically that we haven't heard of yet.
I think if all those games came out, that's such a stacked year. Whereas past years, I feel like that there's been room to include those games. Like there's been those big tentpole games, but there's been room for them to. I think all games have a place in that conversation if you really feel they you want them to be recognized. But in terms of kind of the grand scheme of the years, Blotcher being in last year and stuff like that. If all of these games come out this year, I'd be hard pressed to say yes, because I feel like all those then become guaranteed spots for these huge games. Because I think by and large, a big game is going to, a big tentpole AAA game is going to trump a kind of a breakout indie, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree. My only thing is if some of those big, AAA tentpole games, if they release too close to each other, one of them is going to cannibalize the sales of the other, and then something that we can look back on fondly is going to kind of be like, oh, cool. Like Titanfall. Titanfall 2 released. It is an amazing game. I love the shit out of that game. But it released in such a bad window, but it's sandwiched between a couple big releases. Like when it was Call of Duty, I can't remember the other one, but it was just this game's awesome, but this game came out in such a weird span of time that there was no way it was going to, unless it was the perfect game, there was no way it wasn't going to be overshadowed.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the only chance an indie game has to get a Game of the Year nod, is if a couple of these titles release too close to each other and one cannibalizes the sales of and press of the other. But that's one of those, it's there's no way in hell somebody's sending out their big ass AAA title to go head to head like that.
Well, I mean,
they're going to space these things out.
One of the rumors is that there's quite a few big titles that don't have release dates because those publishers are waiting on Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been the rumor for a while. There's a bunch of stuff where it's just coming in 2025. Nowhere near GTA 6 because we got to recoup some of these production costs.
So, so I mean, oh, excuse me.
Specifically, I would say.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, the one I can think of that would have the biggest chance would be if Silksong does come out this year. That'd be the closest we'd get.
Yeah, but I mean, that's an indie game. But I feel like Silksong is Silksong is one of those games that is so highly.
I know. I just tried to think of in the indie space, if all those games were to come out, I would only imagine Silksong having the realest chance of being included in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, Silksong it's an indie, but it feels like it is verging, it's pushing that upper limit of what an indie really is. It kind of, as far as the hype that has been built up around it, it just feels like it's like, man, this is my favorite band that I used to pay like $2 to go see on a weeknight and get absolutely fucking hammered.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do you mean you're playing a venue bigger than this shitty ass dive bar?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like with Silk Song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dex, where can people find you?
Find me Blue Sky at VerumDex, Instagram at VerumDex. You can find me on Twitch at VerumDex. Pretty much anywhere except Twitter at VerumDex. Twitter's for Nazis. You should get off there if you're not free off there.
Yeah.
There's a Nazi in the bar. It's a Nazi bar.
It's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, where can we find you?
Allegedly nerding for beginners on all platforms except Blue Sky, where it's NFBofficial. Whatever. Yeah, I haven't streamed in a while.
Life. We get it. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll probably get back into it now that my schedule has changed and I actually have time to, do things like eat and hang out with my girlfriend. Those things.
Yeah.
Those are important.
Yes. You can also check out my photography. michaelchandlerphotography.smugmug.com. Michael Chandler Photography with a period after Michael and Chandler on Instagram. Yeah. So, doing some stuff. Doing some race car stuff went up there. They're tearing down a couple big-ass apartment buildings where I work to put up newer apartment buildings. So, it's a thing. I got some cool pictures of that up there. And, yeah, if you want to pay me to take pictures of something for you, I'm available for that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, you could find me on Blue Sky at Mr_Hawks or just at storymoders.com on Blue Sky because I bought the, domain. But check out storymoders.com. We have a full line of merch.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of shirts. I know we had a good purchase from our friend Danielle Z. She's incredible. I cannot wait to see what that looks like in real life because one of those designs that I came up with, at least with everything that Cameron French did. I cannot wait to see what that looks like on an actual shirt because the whole preview shirt, you're like, oh, it looks good, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're superimposing it so it doesn't look how it's going to look.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it comes out really well. So Danielle Z, if you haven't already by the time you hear this, go ahead and if you're comfortable with it, post a picture of the shirt in the Discord. I'm pretty sure you're in there. You should be fucking in there. If you're not, why not? Would love to see it. We got the stickers and everything on there. We're working on putting out some more merch on there. I know at least for me, I'm going to put on a goddamn pint glass on there so that I can be drinking out of a Storymoders glass on episodes.
Can we do a bucket hat?
I'm fairly positive that there's a bucket hat on there. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dex, what do you want? What merch do you want?
Man, I'm going to have to get back to you.
Okay. Well, there are shirts on there. So there are also shirts on
Magnets.
Dex's site.
Look at that.
I don't even know how I even say I think you should look up fourthwall.com/VerumDex. I think gets you there.
Yeah. Go get the
It's
domain.
around
Go
there
get VerumDex.com and then you can point it to it. That's what I did with the fourth wall thing. So, yeah. So we also don't
magnets. I think magnets would be cool. Magnets.
Okay.
I mean, I'll do some fucking magnets.
How do they work?
Yeah. Who knows?
Magic.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we don't.
Hell of an episode.
We're still, getting used to this whole not having to do an outro thing.
Yeah. It's weird. Drank all my beer, so I can't crack a freshie on the way out.
Yeah, I'm all out of beer. Dex, love you.
Love you guys too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Love you, buddy.
See you next week, Story Money 2.
Love you out there. There, better.
There you go.